Morning world. It's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again for another morning of sports talk. Let's get this thing cracking, my guy. Appreciate you guys for pulling up and rocking with your boy. As always, hit that like button, subscribe to the page because we do this every morning, Monday through Friday, 6 to 9. Welcome into the Morning Breeze. Another tough loss last night for our Chicago Bulls. One where the score does not indicate how the game really went. NBA trade deadline rumors flying around left and right. Does Harden want out of there? It's still Super Bowl week. A lot of content to get to. A lot of content to break down. A lot of content to talk. Appreciate y'all for pulling up and rocking with your boy as always, man. Like I said, hit that like button, subscribe to the page. We do this Monday through Friday. I'm going to say this as we get this started. I love that we've added this dynamic of the morning show. But sometimes you forget how early the morning comes when you get out of the habit of getting up doing this. This was an early morning for your boy. This was one of them, like, because of the game last night, had to do some editing after the game, which is probably going to become the norm, which is how I'm going to get back used to it. It was literally like rolling out of bed. Oh snap! What just happened? How I'm back up again. These mornings keep coming early. Oh yeah, this is what used to happen when you used to be blue collar. When you used to do this job every day. When you used to be out here on the tools. You remember that? Yeah, you forgot about that. Remember them sleeping in days that made you a little soft, ain't they, Pat? Yes, they have. But it's good to be here with y'all this morning, man. 16 in the building. 3 likes, hit that like button. By the way, you can also listen to the show not only just on YouTube if you got the YouTube Premium, but you can also download the Contender app on the Apple Store or on the Google Play Store. Get in there, download that Contender app, man, because you can listen to us on the go if you can't just sit here and watch us. NBA trade deadline looms. The NBA trade deadline looms. And last night continued to show you, at least from a Chicago Bulls standpoint, that team needs help inside. We saw the news yesterday that the Chicago Bulls trade for Jakob Poeltl was rejected. They offered a first-round pick for Jakob, which I thought was actually kid was like, you lowballed him. I'm like, a first-round pick for 13-9 is lowballing him. By the way, good morning to everybody in the chat. We got Oscar in the building, Clayton, Shay in the building, man. Hope you had yourself a night. Robert Schwartz in the building. Mr. Classic himself, Oscar in the building, Spice in the building. Shout out to y'all for pulling up. How do the Bulls find a guy that fits perfectly with what they already are doing without giving up too much? How do you find that guy? How do you find that trade partner? Is it buyout market? Is it trade? How do you find that perfect guy that comes into this team and makes a difference? And I'll tell you what, I watched a little bit of that OKC game last night. After live calling the Bulls game, cut it on. Might have been a rerun. I don't know. I turned on NBA TV. I watched a couple of plays where OKC got multiple bites at the apple. And the guy who was at the middle of all of it was Derek Favors. Now, I understand everybody's like, Derek Favors is washed up. Derek Favors is trash. Why would we want Derek Favors in the building? He's older, blah, blah, blah. Derek Favors is what, 30? Fits your timeline. I watched him grab offensive board after offensive board after offensive board to continually give OKC second chance opportunities at the bucket. Now, I don't know if he's actually going to be a part of the buyout market. But to me, that would be the name that I would look at heavily. To me, that would be the name that I'm looking at heavily. And it could even be a system thing there. It could even be a system thing there. You know what I'm saying? I don't need Derek Favors to come in and be a dominant offensive force. I've got those guys. You know what I'm saying? I need someone who can help Vooch. I watched him last night, and he can help Vooch to me. If I'm the Chicago Bulls, I'm looking at, does Derek Favors fit what I want to do with this team? I'm looking at, does Derek Favors come in here and give me the best chance to win while adding that size? Right? While adding that size in. I don't know if Derek Favors is a player you trade for, but he's been reported to be in the buyout market for a while now. So hope maybe that's what ends up happening. Maybe that works out for you. Or maybe he is somebody you have to trade for and you have to offer some picks up for. And we know OKC is very cool with stockpiling those picks. But I look at a guy like that, I think there was one play where they missed the ball or they missed the shot like 5 times. 4 or 5 times. I mean, got another bite at the apple, another bite at the apple, another bite at the apple, another bite at the apple. Derek Favors was at the center of all of it. And so he was somebody that piqued my interest on the trade market. On the buyout market, I mean, there's going to be some names there. I think you probably we might be the part that nobody looks at is we might end up buying out some players ourselves. You know, is Tony Bradley going to be a buyout guy? Could these guys that we signed through the rest of the year be buyout guys? Alfonso McKinney, those guys that you're not going to use. You know, or are they just there to be depth pieces? Which it could be. And the biggest problem with the Bulls right now is they got a bunch of dudes playing outside the role that they were supposed to have. Right? The biggest problem right now is they got a bunch of dudes playing outside of the role that was supposed to come their way. And so it's going to be interesting to see what the Bulls do there. It's going to be interesting to see how the league shifts. I feel like this has kind of been a much more dead trade deadline. And so I want to see, we will be live for the deadline as well on Thursday, but I want to see what the Bulls can pull off. I want to see, is there going to be a lot of shift around the league, or is this going to be a buyout heavy market? Which it could be. Because I think that that's a major possibility right here. I think that is but we're not seeing a ton of movement around the league. We're seeing more of a more teams kind of stand pat. I mean, we saw the one big deal with Karis LeVert. We've heard about a bunch of rumored deals that are going to get done. Are these going to be ninth hour deals where we're, oh my God, this is happening. This is happening. Everybody get to your stations. Or are we looking at a very mild NBA trade deadline? You know what I'm saying? It's going to be interesting to see, man. I feel like when I'm looking at the deadline now, even just coming into seeing how teams are trying to adjust, you haven't heard as many players trying to move on from where they're at. You've really just heard the one big name in Harden, right? It seems like Harden wants out. It seems like Harden once he heard Philly wanted him to come play for them. That was the one name that popped up. Right? That was the one name that it was like, oh snap, this is the dude. Trade Ben Simmons for James Harden. The money works. All of a sudden, James Harden wants out. What's up with that, man? What's up with that? Are these superstars more focused on taking the easy way out? Or at least James Harden, I guess. Are you too focused on getting the easy way out? Because it seems to me like James Harden pouted himself into what seemed at the time to be a better situation. It seemed at that time that James Harden pouted himself into a situation where it seemed like he was going to force himself into a championship. And the second he saw there were going to be some obstacles on the way of that championship, now he wants out. Now he wants to move on. Now he's there's a little I don't know. I don't like this situation. And I get it. Listen, I get it. The Kyrie situation itself is volatile. For the most part, he's been one of the few people healthy. Minus that last series in the playoffs there. So I get where James Harden's coming from. I think this is a different situation than he was in before. I understand why he wants out of it. The problem here is, hey, bud, not for nothing, but at some point, you're going to have to start honoring these contracts. Now, maybe that doesn't happen here. Maybe they do trade him. But the Nets have said already, hey, look, we're not trading, buddy. We're not trading, buddy. Y'all can come up off of that. The Nets have already said, look, I don't want to. We're not going to move on from Harden because he's a major part of the way that we've constructed this team, which is also poor. We're not moving on from James Harden because he's a major part of the way that we've done everything that we've set up. And so you see now, but there's still that inkling. It seems like now, again, Harden putting it out there. Harden wants out. I want out. It's like Shaq said, y'all go mess up y'all bag. players complaining and not wanting to go that extra mile and honor their contract for the team, which is the extra mile at this point, you're gonna mess up the bag. I like how Shaq put it. He said, Magic paved the way for Michael. Michael paved the way for me. I paved the way for guys like Brian and them. Brian and them paved the way for this new era guys. And right now, you've got a lot of dudes that are putting a sour taste in a lot of these owners' mouths on the fact that if I trade for you, if I bring you in, if I honor your deal, who knows, in 2 years you might not be here. That's a problem. Because you're going to start seeing these owners that, listen, I guarantee the next collective bargaining agreement, you're going to start seeing these owners like, we're not giving y'all them big money deals no more. Just like you saw in baseball. We're not paying you big money over 30. Because after 30, you might not want to be here no more. And I get the whole like, oh, he's got to deal with Kyrie, he's got to deal with, but dog, he's a part of the reason that it's a handful of issues there. You know what I'm saying? It's not just Kyrie and KD; they're the only two issues in the building. Like he's a part of the reasons that there's issues there. But he wants out yet again. And to me, if I'm Philly, there's no way I make that trip. Unless you believe Ben Simmons truly is just done, as the pettiest man alive steps into the building. Mr. P. Kidd, what's going on, my boy?
Hey man, I'm feeling good, feeling great. Feeling great, feeling good. Woke up, had to do some work. Working early in the morning. Feels good to actually get some work done in the morning.
I'll be telling you, man.
Feels good. Get a little light workout in. Woke up at like 5:15. Got a little workout in. It was like, oh crap, I gotta do this because I could be on the show. Head to the city a little afterwards. I got a full day ahead of me, but I feel good about it.
Hey, that's what I like to hear,
Feel
man.
good about it.
That's what I like to hear. That means money's being made today.
I heard you up here having a morning though, so I was like, all right, let me rush to help my man Pat because I could tell the difference in Pat Morizoni's voice. I could tell the difference. I was like, yeah, my man needs help.
Hey man, yeah, we
Nah,
here. We
hey
gonna
man,
make
it's
it
all
happen.
good, baby. It's all
We gonna
good.
make it happen. Nah, I'm just
I just like
look,
teasing you. That's all it is.
I'm just it's another morning. Nah,
It's another morning,
I'm
man.
just looking at this whole Harden situation yet again. Harden wants out.
That report was supposedly discredited because Steve Nash said that they're not trading him. James Harden has said that he wanted to stay. That was reported by Ian Rappaport at one point. That was actually just yesterday. Um, but I get it. There's so much misinformation that swirls around. I think he's just really frustrated. But at the
Yeah,
same time, James Harden has to play. James Harden hasn't been playing like James Harden.
at all.
It's one thing to sit there and complain when you're doing all you can. But I can't say James Harden is doing all he can. Like I've seen James Harden score nearly 40 for almost a month.
Yeah.
I ain't seen that James Harden since he got on the Nets, to be honest with you.
We
In
saw
fact,
him, but it was when everybody was hurt.
the only time I actually saw James Harden really play was for like a small stretch last year. But outside of that, we were looking at this like James doesn't fit. Like before
Yeah.
Kyrie was taking the whole, not getting, inoculated or vaccinated, whatever. Me and you had several conversations like, man, the James Harden experiment is not working.
At all.
Just because he just wasn't being the guy that they needed him to be. At least we felt like that. So for him to be upset and said he wants to leave and this, that, and the other, please pipe down and
And
play.
and the thing is,
He's one of
like,
those people I'm going to say, just like Ben Simmons, play first. Play.
yeah, play before all of a sudden you got an issue and I can't get it together. I can't figure it out. Play the game. At a minimum, play the sport well and then chime in. I get that you were James Harden, that you were that dude, and you were able to force your way out of Houston. But for
I
one,
agree.
why would Philly not only trade somebody that's in the same conference, but also in the same division? Like
Well,
Philly's trying to
Daryl
go
Morey
for this.
wants him though.
You said what?
Daryl Morey wants James Harden. I think the issue is that Daryl Morey is overvaluing Ben Simmons. He said he's thinking that he can trade for James Harden straight up. It's like, no, you're gonna have to include some stuff with that.
Yeah, it's not just James Harden straight up. Maxey's coming back. Which, if we being honest, is the only thing that makes sense because James Harden is gonna have to run the point.
I think it's a fair trade. But at the same time, I
I
think
think
it's
it's
a
a fair
trade that makes
trade.
the Nets better and
I
makes the Sixers weaker.
exactly. I think it's a fair trade, but one, you're gonna run into Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons is gonna be like once you trade him, all of a sudden he's magically gonna be back on the floor. He's gonna be playing again. It's basketball. He's played this sport his whole life. I'm assuming he knows how to play defense when he walks back out there. We're not looking for any scoring from him anyway. Ben Simmons with two of the greatest scorers in NBA history right now. One of the greatest scorers in NBA history. Another one that could score at will probably would be up there, but doesn't be on the court enough. But Ben Simmons playing with those two guys. Hey, guess what?
You still got a playoff team that's going to go pretty freaking far. They need rebounders. They need rebounders and a point guard. Guess what? You get both with Ben Simmons.
You get both with Ben Simmons. So it's like, is Philly dumb enough to really make the move just to get James Harden into the building? Are they dumb enough to make the move for a team that you're going to be going up against? You're gonna run if you're gonna get to the NBA Finals, and you're gonna be that team that does make the big run. You're gonna be there, and they're gonna be there, especially if you send them Ben Simmons.
Here's the thing. That whole trade right there just ruins Philly.
To me, yeah.
I don't think you're going to see the same James Harden that's trying to play point here. You're going to see James Harden that's going to try to lead a team, and that's Joel Embiid's team. Like that's Joel's team. Period. I don't care who goes to that. KD can go to Philly right now. It's still Joel's team.
Yeah, Joel's not gonna let it go,
and he shouldn't.
No, I'm with it. I'm trying to think if at this point in Harden's career, especially with what he's been doing, if he's more willing to play second fiddle. Because at this point, he's been playing third fiddle to a dude that basically hasn't been there, which probably more than anything is the thing that irritates him mostly. It's like, fam, I'm really like playing off of this dude, and this dude is here half the time. But I mean, I look at that
they be trading for another guy who doesn't show up late games in the playoffs.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's gonna be interesting. I don't know why.
Excuse me.
Like we can't stay. They gonna trade for a guy that doesn't show up late game, but he will take a shot. he
just might miss him like 26 times in a row.
It's just weird to me, dog. It's just like
my joke right there. I don't like that.
You said what?
I said he might miss him like 26 times in a row. You don't get the joke?
No.
The Houston Rockets had the Warriors down. They went to a game 7. They were actually up in the game and then missed 26 threes in
26 threes in a row. I do remember that.
Wide open miss. Like, just step in.
Hey man, thought it was 5 Joe Ingles out there. But I don't know, dog. Like I just like the deadline moves this year. One, they seem dead. Like it seems like nobody for real is on the move. Karis LeVert was probably the one surprise I think we'll get. All these names that were reported on the move seem like they're not on the move. We keep
Colin
hearing them.
Sexton is going to be on the move.
You said what?
Sexton is going to be on the move. Where does he land?
I don't know if he is, dog. They really think that two guard lineup worked.
It don't.
I know. We know that. But they think that mess worked.
In fact, the Cavs look so much better without Sexton on the floor.
And I think if Garland was out, actually we've seen it when Garland is out. They look better.
They look better with Garland on the floor.
No, what I'm saying is like when it's just one of them, when it's Sexton or when it's Garland, they both look good. They just don't look good together because they both just like running into each other, just like, what do we do? I don't know. Let's keep going.
Garland looks better. The team with Garland looked better than the team that Sexton, because Sexton tried to score more than he tried to play points.
Sexton's a scorer. And Garland has turned into more of the facilitating kind of point. I'm gonna just set you up, but also I'm gonna go down here and get these buckets as well. Miles
Turner is still on the move. That's a game changer right there.
Is it?
If he was to land on a Brooklyn, it is. Because they're weak in interior defense too.
I don't know, dog. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out. It's a lot of these players that at least come into the deadline, and maybe it's because they just get moved.
If he lands on Denver, it's a good move because they depleted and he needs help down there.
Yeah, but to me, it's one of them. It's like, are these mugs playing like not up to their potential just because? And I don't even think Turner's been playing the last couple of games. But are these mugs playing not up to their potential just because the deadline is here and they know they're getting moved, or are these mugs just like, all right, they're kind of mid here? Because like ever since Miles Turner said, I can be more than just a role player on a team and I'm not being used well here, I started looking at him and I was like, I don't know, dog. You looking pretty role playerish to me. Like
Miles Turner's always really been a role player, but he's just been a really, really good defensive player of the year candidate role player. So it's like, yeah, I take that. Like, yeah. It's explosive in the sense that you can pair him with someone or on a team in the front court that makes it, a nightmare matchup for those who rely and live in the paint.
Right.
But it wasn't like Miles Turner. Like, it's not like trading Sabonis. Sabonis is someone who's a game changer.
Sabonis is a game changer move, yeah. Sabonis is a game changer move. That changes the whole trajectory of your team. You can rebuild your team around Sabonis. I told you, two places I want to see Sabonis go, although now really just one place. Because I feel like they kind of screwed it up in Portland. I'd love to see him back on OKC.
Who?
OKC.
Sabonis?
Yeah.
Nah.
I'd love to see him back on OKC. That mix of Shai Gilgeous and Sabonis, that'd be nasty for years to come.
I'd rather see him on Portland.
Portland, I don't know what Portland doing. Portland blowing MS up to me. There's no way you look at Norman Powell and you say, yeah, he's not a piece we can use to win.
Unless they want to ride out with CJ. Which I think Norman Powell is better than CJ, to be honest with you.
I think Norman Powell's a forward. You could have had both of them.
No, he's a two guard. He's a 2-guard, small forward, maybe.
Like 6'7", ain't he?
Nah, Norman Powell ain't that tall.
I don't know, man.
6'4".
Norman Powell 6'4"?
Yeah.
Man, he play big.
6'4" ain't a forward. He just plays up, but he's a scorer. That's what it is. He gets buckets. He could close out games. Like, I had high regard for Norman Powell's game. I really do. I really like his game. He was one of those people that I was sleeping on, and then I saw a good game, and it wasn't even a really great game. Like he had 15. I think he scored like 11 in the third. He only played like half the game, and I was like, okay, hold on, who is this?
Yeah.
He was when he was still in Toronto, and he just went on a tear. He was just cooking, and I'm like, hey, you feed that. That's I told everybody. A lot of people on that level, they all can play. It's just the confidence, and once you see a player start gaining his confidence and his ability, please, you got to get out the way. You got to get out the
Six
way.
four
And
two
CJ,
fifteen.
to me, Norman Powell is a better CJ.
Yeah.
CJ to me has plateaued. I don't think CJ is going to get. You're not going to see anything more out of CJ than you've already seen.
I mean, that's still pretty good.
Hmm.
What's he averaging right now? Actually, he's having a really down year. Really down year. Good Lord.
He's having a Chris Middleton type year.
A very Chris Middleton type year.
It's still 20 points a game.
Hmm.
But if you watch, like, that's why I was so big on Portland this season, because I thought that CJ, Dame, and Norman Powell were going to get it together, and it
Yeah.
didn't look good together.
Yeah.
Or maybe Terry at the time that they just didn't utilize him right. I don't understand, but I mean Norman Powell right now is averaging 28 on 56% shooting. It's 28 on 56% shooting. So I mean, you say what you want to say, but
It's just weird, dog, because it's like I don't get the moves. Like it's like they're trying to rebuild, but also not really. Like
it's
they're
stupid.
almost just like we're trying to wait for Dame to come back and just let him be Dame.
It's stupid. Nothing about it makes sense. It's stupid.
I mean, they traded it for Eric Bledsoe and a bag of chips, and Eric Bledsoe's in the bag of chips.
They traded it for pennies and peanuts.
I don't get it. Unless it's just a money clearing move. Like I don't get the move if you're trying to win. And you have Dame Lillard. It seems like they've committed to like, hey, we're gonna ride this thing out with Dame. Dame gonna ride this thing out with us.
That young, where does he go?
He probably
They're not
part of the
playing him.
buyout. He's probably part of the buyout.
They're not playing. They're not paying him. Daniel Tice. Hey, see that name? Thanks, Shay. What's going on with him? He got the back and they ain't played him.
Yeah.
They've been playing Christian Wood and Sengun, which they should. They should play Sengun. They really should. They really should. But you just paid them. You just paid Daniel.
Paid him good too.
He
Paid
said
him good money.
I
Gave that
want him
man
to
the
get the bag. Get
bag.
the money, bro. Get your money.
Gave that man the bag. As a player, would you rather have the bag or PT?
Depends on my skill set.
Daniel Tice got a good skill set.
Daniel Tice is not going to be a. Daniel Tice is going to be a really, really good name that we're going to remember, but he's not an all-star caliber player. So for him, you get the
he's a
bag.
starting power forward in the NBA.
On a mid team, maybe. Like he'll start on Indiana, but then we'll forget him because he's on Indiana.
He'd be a starter here.
Well,
No, I guess it would be right now.
Like yeah, of course he'd be a starter right now because we got like Troy Brown Jr. playing power forward. Like you know what I'm saying? Like, but still, he wouldn't be an all-star on our team.
Yeah, no, he wouldn't.
So at this point, it's like, hey, depends. He got a family to take care of. He got his own personal goals. If I'm him, I get the bag, and he got the bag.
Got the bag.
He got the most that I think he's going to get for what he's produced, and I congratulate him for it. But outside of that, I mean, hey, so like it depends. If I'm a middle of the road, if like you got to be real with yourself. At a certain point, you're not. But at my height, would I be in a conversation of small guards? Would I have had an IT year or something like that? I don't know.
You be like Buddy that said what's Buddy on New Orleans Alvarado or something like that. Russ was like, "Can he shoot? Yes, I can shoot." Knock down one shot.
Hey man, listen. I probably have a Matt Thomas like season. I don't know. but at the end of the day, it's like you gotta just be real about your skill set. Like if I was taller and I felt good about that one, yeah, I probably want the tick because then I can earn the money. But small guards don't make a lot of money in the league. Not realistically, unless you get drafted to shoot like Trey.
Yeah.
Short guards don't really do a whole lot in this league.
I mean, even just
Jalen Brunson is a bucket. He ain't getting paid.
Jalen Brunson don't get no tick either. I
Which is
think
weird.
Jalen Brunson with tick would be exactly what everybody's hype about LaMelo Ball being, if not better.
I would want Brunson on the Bulls, to be honest with you.
Oh, I would love Brunson on the Bulls. I would love Brunson on the Bulls. He would take that 6-man role though.
16 points, 50% on 50% shooting,
Yeah.
5.5 assists.
He just don't get the tick for some reason. I don't know what Jason Kidd's doing down there in Dallas, though.
No, he get a good tick. He get like 30 minutes a game.
Is
He gets started minutes. He's playing behind Luka though. And Luka is a very ball dominant player. That's all it really is. He's paired with a ball dominant player and a center who's trying to prove himself and vie for who controls that team.
Man, dog, that's such a weird dynamic down there. I'm surprised they don't move off Porzingis. That's such a dynamic to me that it's like you like can see that like, nah, this ain't really gonna work. It just looked good.
He's injured too much, but outside of that, I probably wouldn't move off of him. Like he's not playing right now.
Injured right now with a knee injury. Good Lord.
He's, I hate to say it, but like he had the opportunity to be a really good power forward in his league. Maybe even a legendary.
When he's on the court, he's 19-7.
Yeah, on the court, he looked like Larry Markkinen with attitude.
Man, he had a run this year too. Porzingis had him a nice little 24-13, 23-12, 27-9, 34-9, 24-7, 24-9, 19-7, and drop off. He's such an interesting player, dog.
Such a weird thing going on right there.
Who do you see that moves? Who's your this player will absolutely be moved before the deadline is done? That's not Kobe White.
You saw the setup, didn't you? You saw the setup. I was going for it.
That's
Boom.
not Kobe White. Just on any team. Doesn't have to be the Bulls. Can be the Bulls, but who's this guy's absolutely gone. By the way, 59 people in the building, 19 likes. Hit that like button, my guy. What you doing here? Just staring? Just watching? Just watching? Weird.
Well, I say absolutely get moved. I stand on the fact that Ben Simmons may get moved. I think it's gonna be a late 11th hour trade, but I think he's gonna get moved. You just can't justify not doing it. You can't justify not doing it if you're Philly. You have a real opportunity to take the East. And that's hard to say because we see Red Nation here, but we've always had a problem with Philly. Joel Embiid doesn't lose against us. Philly exploits our weaknesses unless we make a move. So that's a disastrous matchup for us. They're a disastrous matchup for a lot of teams in the East. So you got to take advantage of the fact that Joel Embiid is playing MVP.
Yeah.
MVP caliber basketball. He's actually he's actually favored in the conversation right now over Jokic, which is saying a lot. You have to capitalize on it. You have to, take the window while you have it, which is why I think that he gets moved. I think somebody on the Bulls gets moved. Somebody has to move. Something has to happen. or someone's going to get added. I feel like
Yeah.
no, but seriously, we have a window. We're one piece in the middle to pair with Vooch away from taking the East. Like that's how we're one move away. And to say that there's so many teams that are one move away is scary to think about because somebody's going to make the move. The
Yeah.
Cavs are top 5 team in the East. They made a move. They made a really good move. We've struggled against the Cavs. We struggled against the Cavs inside, and then they got their perimeter together.
Yeah.
You have to go all in when you see a chance, and that's what they did. That was a great pickup for them. So we have to make a move if we're going to take it because there may not be the same opportunity next year. I get what everyone's saying. Maybe we'd be better. We'll be full strength, this, that, and the other. But we're number one in the East where everyone else was going through their issues too. We're number one in the East when Philly is down an all-star and not knowing what's going on, and Joel Embiid's playing more minutes than he's ever played. This is the healthiest I've seen Joel Embiid, to be honest with you. I'm
Yeah.
waiting for the shoe to drop.
Get that man a break. Just rest him all the way up until the All-Star break.
Hey,
We're pushing the envelope at this point.
this is we expected the Nets to keep it together, and they didn't, and they're still they were a top team in the East. The Bucks for some reason have just been. I don't know why people are counting them out. They're still just cruising. They don't have to be number one in the freaking Eastern Conference to be.
I
They're
think
still the NBA
the
champs. Like,
problem
what
with
the heck do people be talking about? I
the
don't get it.
problem with looking at the Bucks is the Bucks be losing to some bad teams. Like they beat the good teams, so you're like, oh, okay. But the Bucks be losing to some bad teams. So like,
I
and
don't
it'd be
think the
like,
Bucks care.
you got to though.
I don't
You
think
ain't
they.
won. You ain't won 5 of them things, dog. You cannot care when you done been like I get like LeBron getting to a point where it's like I'm tired, I don't care, or like Steph getting to a point where it's like it's tired, I'm tired, I don't care. I don't know if the Bucks don't care. I think the Bucks just rely a lot on Chris Middleton, and that's a poor recipe for we're gonna dominate this joint.
The Bucks to me are just like, hey, can we make the playoffs? Yeah, we're gonna make the playoffs. At that point, do you really care who you play? You got to play the best eventually. So guess what? Let's just make the playoffs.
Also, they're second in the Eastern Conference.
Now they're second. All right. Oh yeah, we just lost. Oh
We just
crap.
lost
So
yesterday.
now
Yeah.
look at this. Now they're second in the Eastern Conference, and everybody was like, "Oh no, the Bucks are not going to repeat and this, that, and the other." It's like, dog, they've just been they literally been in the 5th to 3rd or 2nd row like all season. Like,
Yeah.
chill. Like,
Well,
so I
it's
feel like
just one of them.
they're all everyone's a one player away. The Lakers, realistically, if James, not James Harden, Russell Westbrook was working out, we wouldn't be having the conversations we're having. But apparently, they're one player away. And let's be honest, they are one player away. If LeBron is still going to play like LeBron is playing, AD's not finally back, he's healthy. If Russ can just pull it together and a little bit to just facilitate appropriately and make a couple layups and not hit the side of the backboard, they're one player away.
Man, it's
Golden State don't have Wiseman. They're one player away.
and he's on their team.
He's on their team. The Phoenix Suns are just clicking right now. They've figured their whole thing out. Like it's too many teams that are one player away before this league looks totally different. And we're still in a very competitive league. So I see John Wall. Yeah, that was a good name, Brian. I see John Wall. Something has to happen with John Wall. John Wall's a game changer. John Wall is 20 points in at least 8 assists. I do believe he can give you that production. I believe he can play. Something has to happen.
I don't know. John Wall's an interesting name to me, but John Wall, you come with the caveat of knowing that, like, I feel like John Wall's got that Kyrie effect now. Like, he's definitely going to give you a solid 25 games, but he's probably going to get injured.
I have to see him back on the floor since his injury for me to even say that. Because
We
right
saw him
now
back on the
he's
floor
not.
in Houston, and then he got hurt, and then they just didn't bring him back because they were so far out of it, it didn't matter no more.
Well, his injury wasn't that serious, and then they were like, "Yeah,
We
we're
tanking.
gonna try to trade you," and they benched him.
Yeah.
He's been healthy this entire time.
No, he's been healthy, but last season when he played, what he played 20 games or something like that.
Yeah, he had
After
just came back,
played 20
and
games, got hurt his knee again, sat out like 10, 15 games, and then when they were ready to bring him back, they were like, "Well, we're completely out of this at this point, so you're
I
gonna
think
help
that's what
us
it was.
win."
Their record was so bad they just decided
They
to
just
shut him down.
decided to tank him. Yeah,
But he wanted to play,
yeah,
and guess what? When KD came back, they did the same thing. They played him, then they rested him. Played him, then they rested him. Played him, then rested him. Then in the playoffs, he just ran them raggedy because that's what Steve Nash decided to do for some
yeah.
odd reason. But I'm just saying, like, hey, John Wall is a player that can absolutely still lead it, or at least assist in leading a team. That it's just too. It's something up. And if I'm
The
Philly,
problem is
I would trade for John Wall.
the problem with John Wall is not John Wall. The problem with John Wall is John Wall's contract.
Philly
Philly makes sense. Philly makes the most sense.
Maxey and what's the name for John Wall matches up numbers wise. I would do it.
Philly makes the most sense to me. And I don't know if I'm giving up Maxey. You're not gonna get Maxey out of me.
Well, John Wall makes 13 million more than Ben.
Yeah, I'm gonna find another way to make that money work. I'm gonna find another way to make that money work. You know what I'm saying? Hey, well, we know he's not gonna trade Seth because what that
Shout
mug
out to
said.
him for carving out a name for himself too. Seth
Hey,
is balling.
that mug, Doc said. They asked Doc, they was like, "What'd you see in Seth?" He was like, "I didn't see nothing in Seth. I just want to see my grandkids more often."
Wow.
He said, "I figure if he sucks, at least I get to see my grandkids." You know what I'm
Wow.
saying? Yeah, Shay. Don't Danny Green make a nice little penny too? Yeah, that's probably what I'm.
Another player who I think who gets slept on, who is absolutely a good addition. It could be even a good addition for us in so many ways. Austin Rivers gets thrown out there so much.
Man,
Austin Rivers is getting clowned, and he can ball. Austin Rivers needs an opportunity.
Austin is a big part of what they do in Denver, though.
How so?
He's the only one left healthy. Actually, I don't think he's healthy right now.
Austin Rivers is playing part-time minutes, and they play him so up and down.
That's just what's his name. You dig though? What I tell you?
No, I know. I trust me. I know.
That's just it's such a
The way
weird
he played
fam,
Jamal Murray was stupid.
fam, look at this. 27, 26, 35, 24, 15, 29, 19. I can't even tell you there's a system there. I can't even I don't know what that is. How's somebody supposed to get in rhythm? And then when he finally got in rhythm, he had 34, 27, 26. He had 25 points in that game. And then the next game, he had 35 minutes. He took 6 shots.
Where is Jamal Murray?
Hurt. Probably not coming back this year again. Probably be back for the playoffs.
Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. could both be back by April 1st.
Oh, that ain't playoffs. That's deep in the playoffs. No, that's not.
No, that's playoffs.
That's beginning of the playoffs. April 1st, you said. Yeah. I don't know, dog. I don't know. There's no way MPJ is back April 1st. With a back surgery?
Well, it depends. It depends.
I doubt that. I'd be surprised if MPJ is back April 1st.
Why?
because the surgery was to remove pressure off of one of the nerves in his spine or something like that.
Yeah, they shaved down a disc,
But it's
which is mostly
still,
made of water.
yeah, but it's still that nerve damage. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole thing was about the nerves pressing against each other and him not being able to move. Like, I don't know. I'd be surprised, especially with a back too. And you got to go through. That means that he's going through rehab right now. Like that means he's going through. He's almost ready to get back on the court then. Because we just about almost halfway through February. He would have to be ramping up, getting back on the court right now. Like Jamal Murray's is an ACL. It's gonna take him a month to ramp back up and get into it. Like a back to me, that's a whole different you did.
Well, he was never ruled out for the season.
Nah, of course not. I'm not gonna rule out the dude I just paid 200 something million and no hey, for no seemingly good reason. Talk about getting the bag for 20 games. We talk about John Collins. My man's MPJ.
I really think they paid him because they was going to trade him.
Who, MPJ?
Mm-hmm. I think they maxed out his contract and it was going to trade him for somebody who they thought was of equal value. I promise you, I think that it made no sense to give him a max contract.
But they paid him before he even got to the season. He was paid coming into the season.
Mm-hmm.
They paid him before they even saw anything.
Well, he performed last season.
Yeah, a little bit. Playoff. I mean, he was getting busy last year. Listen, y'all know me. I love MPJ. I think MPJ can play. Injuries are robbing that man of his career. But we talking about what? This is his
They
third
paid
back
him.
surgery?
He played 61 games, averaged 19 points on 54% shooting with 7 rebounds.
He a bucket. He plays zero defense. He's worse than Matt Thomas. He's worse than Matt Thomas. Nah.
No, seriously.
He played defense in high school either, dog. I'm telling you, he plays.
He had a back injury. Even back then, he had surgery in college.
My G, I've been watching this young man since 8th grade. Defense has never been a part of his arsenal.
I'm willing to say he's had back injuries since then too.
Hey, his defense was his back injury started his junior year. You know what his problem was? What his thing was he was always the tallest dude on the court. So his defense looked better because if you drive through and you're a 5'10" white dude from Nowheresville State, and I put up a layup, it's probably getting blocked away, seeing as I'm 6'11" and the set as a sophomore. You know what I'm saying?
A name that no one mentions but was brought up in a couple trade rumors, Brandon Ingram.
Get B.I. out of there, man. Get B.I. out of there.
He wasting his time.
And I knew it. I knew it when he signed the deal, but I was like, maybe Zion changes that. It does not.
I told everyone in this chat a while ago, I don't think Zion's gonna work out. Zion is not gonna be the player y'all think he's gonna be. And everybody was like, that's cap, that's this. I just want y'all to know I've been wrong on maybe like 1 or 2 takes, but most of them joints have worked out. You want to know why? Because I actually pay attention to the goddamn court. Pay attention to the court. Pay attention to actually how he plays. Yeah. Pay attention to the fact that his game didn't develop or change at all. Pay attention to the fact that he's not on the court for it to develop. He's not practicing right now.
Yeah, at this point, here's my question with it. Before anything happened, Zion had said he wanted out of New Orleans.
He never said he wanted out.
His people said he wanted out. The people on his team said he wanted out, which miraculously sometimes seems to always be true when the people on the team say something. Is this I'm taking my time to get back 100% so I can get the heck up out of here? Or is he actually going through like foot issues. You know what I'm saying? Like, is he taking his time so that he's 100% for his next team?
He still has to perform.
Nah,
Here's a
potential's easier to sell. You get another team's doctor to sign off on Zion Williamson as 100% healthy. The Knicks will
Zion
bet
is
the
a
house.
black hole with no court awareness. It was very easy. It was very easy. Look at it. Just look at his last good game. Look up his last good game. And look up the last game he was defended well. It's the same issue. He gets the ball because he thinks he's stronger than everybody, tries to make a move. They bring a defender on the backside.
He not
It's a
wrong
steal.
most times.
Oh, it's a steal. It's a steal. Let me be real. Look at how teams started to stick him. He didn't look good in those moments. He only looks good high flying and trying to play bully ball. Guess what? People figure that the heck out eventually. And he ain't getting no taller.
No, he's done.
Right? He's not going to be the player y'all think he's going to be. People want him to be LeBron. If I'm wrong, I hope I am wrong. I highly doubt it. And I'm willing to go the distance with anybody on that take. I highly doubt it. And you can't tell, but it looked good on paper. 20 points, 66% shooting. He has efficiency of a big man, and he can actually
20
shoot
points.
threes. Was it 25 or 28?
28, 7 and 7, 64%.
Dominant big man.
And you also have to think about the season that we saw him. We all were looking around the entire time saying, what the heck is Stan Van Gundy doing? We watched them games when he was going up against the Bulls. That's actually where the AD clip comes from, where he's going up against the Bulls, and we're like, Stan Van has him playing the point guard right now with Brandon Ingram and
You
Lonzo
want to know why
Ball.
Stan had him bringing up the ball? Because we started to play deep. They started to defend him differently. It was hard for them to get the outlet, the inlet pass to him, to get him on the block. So you let him bring the ball down.
Yeah, but they also weren't playing Lonzo. We didn't see Lonzo at all that game, and Lonzo was healthy.
Hey, Lonzo got the bad short end of the stick there, but they were having a hard time getting the pass to him in the paint. So Stan Van Gundy did the best thing he could. He's a ball. He can also handle the ball. Let him bring the ball down and get to his spot. And that's what he did. And if you look at it, that's exactly what Zion did. Came down that left side just like Julius Randle. Set up on that left side. Bully balled his way in. Got a bucket.
Yeah, but
That's what he did.
But that's
And it made sense. In that limited context,
not really.
it made sense.
Not really.
It did if it led to him averaging 28 that point.
Pick and roll with Lonzo Ball don't make sense with Zion Williamson.
He's not a good pick and roll person. He's not. How many pick and rolls did you see him execute?
I didn't see him do nothing because they didn't put him in a position to do nothing.
He's not good in the pick and roll.
I can't say that if I don't see it.
I saw it.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what I came up with the take. I was like, he's a black hole. He has to get the ball. You have to clear out. You have to give him space. But if you run a double at him, it was a turnover. Now, mind you, young kid, trying to figure it out, still developing. So I'm not trying to make it seem as if I'm just going to kill his entire game. There's a whole lot of potential there. There's too much potential there, to be honest.
But I'm just trying to figure out what game it worked in. It's a whole lot of 30s on here. On good shooting percentages.
Because he got to the line a lot.
No.
He definitely got to the line a lot.
He definitely got to the line a lot, but this is just on shot attempts. He was getting busy. On just about 20 attempts. 15 to 20 attempts a game. This is the thing. I can't take it away from him. I do agree his game didn't develop. I think that New Orleans did the worst thing possible for him. I think that hiring Stan Van Gundy was the dumbest thing in the world because Stan Van Gundy treated him like he was Dwight Howard with handles, and he's not.
Wait, no, that's a good analogy. He is. No, I give you that. Dwight Howard handles was absolutely a good analogy. Prime
Well,
Dwight
what I,
Howard
what I'm
with
what I'm
handles,
saying
great
is
analogy.
you didn't put him in a position for anybody else. Like to me, you put him in a position where he can kind of have the Vooch mentality while actually being able to play defense and stuff like that. Like get him down there and teach him, hey, listen, when you down there, you got to pass that ball out. Look for your options on the corners because you got Brandon Ingram and Lonzo Ball, who's, oh, by the way, play Lonzo Ball. You got Brandon Ingram and Lonzo Ball, who are two of the better three-point shooters in this NBA. If you get down there and the double team comes, guess what? Somebody out here's open. Like, you got to teach him. Like, I get, like, yes, he's a black hole. Yes, we're throwing the ball into him. But legitimately, he's been in the NBA 3 years. And the only dude that was teaching him anything was Stan Van Gundy, and he ran that team like a moron.
Yeah, he's been in the league 3 years. He's only played a collective of one season, if that.
No, agree. He came in hurt the first year and played what 20-something games, 23 games, something like that.
If
And he played the
anything,
second year and got hurt.
if anything, and people don't remember this, we skip over this player's peak years. I don't know why we do it. But Blake Griffin had a run where he absolutely was one of the strongest, fastest, and most dominant. I'm not gonna say most dominant and dominant forwards in the league. Blake Griffin had a window of about 2 years, and where you were like, this can be that guy. Zion is going to be a little better than that.
It's a good career. Blake had a good career. Blake had what? 6 years in LA. Blake problem was they traded him to Detroit, and he believed that they were actually building something there.
And he was an all-star in Detroit.
Yeah, but
no one gives that credit. He was an all-star in Detroit.
They wasn't building nothing there. They brought in Derrick Rose, and then they brought in what's the coach that's there now? Black dude from Toronto.
Ask Don Burr. I don't know.
Don, who's y'all coach that nobody cares about no more? He won coach of the year and got fired. But yeah, like they not building nothing. That's Blaze. I'll tell you this: there's some players whose careers are defined by making bad decisions where they sign. Dwayne Casey, Rudy Gay to me is that player, along with Blake Griffin.
What do you mean?
Career-changing decisions.
What are you talking about?
Where they chose to sign. Rudy Gay did it his whole career to me, where he would be like, I'm a sign here. And he'd be like, you signed it here at the wrong time, my guy. Like Rudy Gay and Blake Griffin, not Blake Griffin, I guess is working out here, but re-upping on the Detroit deal, or just staying in Detroit. Bad move for your career, because at that point Blake was still, like you said, an all-star caliber player, could have went anywhere. Maybe he wanted to be the number one option. And
you said Rudy Gay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Who'd you think I said?
Gobert.
Oh no, Rudy Gay.
I'm about to say that was a good thing for him.
No, I'm saying Rudy Gay to me is the epitome of that. Every team Rudy Gay signed with, it was like right at the time when that team was either breaking up or just was not the same team anymore. Like when he signed with the Spurs, it was like at the end of like Tim Duncan's run with the team, and you know what I'm saying? The one time where I was like, nah, this mug got it is when he was in Toronto. Could have signed with the Bulls with Derrick Rose and them. I think he ended up signing with Sacramento. You know, so he was always one of them players that I was like, man, his career is completely different if he makes one different signing decision. Like he's looked at complete, because he can ball. Rudy Gay can absolutely play. He can still play.
Yeah.
I think Rudy Gay's still averaging what? 15, 16 points a game?
Nah, it's a little high, but I feel you.
A little high, a little high.
Yeah, he's averaging 8 points on 41% shooting.
I saw him have a high game. Now you know what it was?
To your credit, he
No,
did
you know
have
what it was? I
15
just saw him the
against
other
Denver.
night.
Yeah,
I
he had
just
15
saw him the
against
other
Denver.
night, and he had a good game. But it was he said a little high. No, I just saw him the other night and he had a good game. But it's one of those where it's like players make those decisions where like the comparison to Blake with Zion. The best move for Zion to me, if you're gonna do anything, is absolutely to get out of New Orleans. Because they don't know what they're doing down there.
No, best thing for that boy to do is to stop with the hype. Get whoever, your mama, whoever's out your ear, hit the gym. Start losing some weight. He absolutely needs to change his diet. That boy is 60 pounds overweight.
Right now, probably. He's also not
pounds.
running.
Dog, he is 60 pounds overweight. He was overweight when he came into the league. What I say? He too heavy. What Chuck say? He's too heavy.
Yeah.
Chuck is a great example because that's a good comparison. That's a really good comparison. If he can have that type of career, because Charles Barkley, same height, same build, was absolutely MVP. One MVP of a mic. Oh, he deserved it. He deserved it that year. He deserved it that year. Absolutely. Nope. I got to give it to Chuck. He deserves it that year. You got to look at it. Yep.
My G.
Yep. That year he deserved it.
My G.
He deserved it.
He deserved MVP
over
the
Michael
best,
Jordan that year. And he got
it. Over the dude that led in offensive production and blocks and steals. So he was the best. He was the best offensive and defensive player. Didn't Mike win Defensive Player of the Year that year?
I'm not sure. But guess what?
I think Mike won Defensive Player of the Year.
Guess what? He won it. He won it at this point. Anyway.
Hey, I never believe that. You telling me?
Hey, pull it up. Pull it up that year. Pull it up that year. Pull up the stats. Let me finish the point.
Hey, Must crack me up with that.
Pull it up.
Be like Michael Jordan won. It was like the highest. He had the highest offensive output of any player in the league, and I think he won. If I'm not mistaken, I think he won Defensive Player of the Year that year.
He might have. Anyway. He might have. I might have to walk that one back. Anyway, but anyway, Charles Barkley is still a great comparison because Charles Barkley himself, round mound to rebound. If Charles Barkley's saying out the gate he's too heavy, he has to lose the weight. This is what happened in my career. Off the rip, that's what Charles said. You gotta start listening to those players. We can say whatever we want to say, but Chuck knows what Chuck went wrong.
Chuck is different though. What Muggs don't realize was round mound to rebound was just because of how small he was. Chuck was in shape when he left Philly. Mm-hmm. Like Chuck was in like really good shape.
But Chuck was moving people like Zion was moving people. Chuck absolutely was moving people. He was one of the smallest forwards on the court with most of the people. He had to go against David Robinson.
Yeah.
Shaq. Like, I can name a long list of forwards he had to go against. He was the shortest one.
Fam. So he was all defensive that year. He wasn't Defensive Player of the Year.
But he probably led every other statistical category.
More than likely. Yeah, it's a tough one for you to stand over there.
Hey, listen, like I said,
I didn't know he won it in 88.
Who?
Michael Jordan.
Won what?
Defensive Player of the Year. At a time where they were like, he's nothing but a scorer.
That's wild. Hey, for people to say that Mike ain't
score the ball.
Hey, when people say Mike ain't the GOAT, I was like, you got to realize the narratives and the stuff that they tried to pigeonhole on Mike, and he broke every last one of those narratives. How you win 6 championships and 10 scoring titles in a decade?
Oh no, you know what? I gotta see. What year was that? Was that 97?
92?
92 versus Phoenix?
92?
That early? Yeah,
In
okay.
the first
90.
three-peat.
That's right. 92. Mike averaged.
Mike averaged 30.
Oh, I ain't talking about points. Listen. Throw a dart at the wall for the year he didn't average 30. You might hit one. Mike averaged. Yeah, no, yeah. Just go ahead and take it.
Hey, I said I might have to walk it back.
Mike averaged 32 points a game, led the league. 2.8
93. That
steals a
was
game,
93. 93.
led the league. Oh, my bad. You're right. You said 90, 91, 92. 30.1
No, he won.
points a
He
game.
won MVP in 93. Charles Barkley.
Oh, okay, yeah. 32 points a game. Almost 33, 32.6. 2.8 steals a game. 0.8 blocks a game. 7 rebounds.
92, 93.
He shot at 49.5% from the field.
I mean, Chuck averaged 25, 12, and 5 with 1 steal and 1 block a game. It's kind of hard to sit, and they was running the West, so it's kind of hard for you to sit there and be like, "Well, Chuck didn't deserve it." I mean,
Hey, Chuck. I'm not saying Chuck not in the conversation.
25, 12, 5, 1 and 1.
32, 3 and 1.
I
And
take
7.
25 and 12 over 32. Like, bitch, you know what though? I actually would.
32, 3, 1, and 7. He was averaging 3 steals a game.
Which is wild.
Dog,
Which is
32,
wild.
3, and 7.
But if you ask,
shout out to
if
Jay
you,
Crit in the
if
chat.
you,
Chuck deserved runner up. Hey, listen, I ain't mad at it. We got to
hey,
ring
if you
out
ask
that
me
time.
though, which the question was, who I would tell, I would have given Chuck the nod that season. I would have.
You'd have been
Because
sick of
Chuck,
seeing MJ
I mean,
win it. Of course
if
you would.
what we're saying is correct, right? Chuck was top 5 in rebounds, and he was one of the shortest forwards there, while averaging 25 on a team that everyone says, "Who the heck is on it?" Which is a disgrace to KJ, because KJ is a beast, but whatever. Like, I gave him the nod that
Hey,
season.
Chuck be disrespecting the mess out of his teammates. I ain't gonna lie to you, dog.
KJ averaged 19 and 10 for like 5 years straight. He
Hey,
made
Chuck
it
be
seem
like, I
like he
love
had
these boys,
nobody.
but they ain't no Kobe Bryant. Hey, I love Kenny though. Kenny killed buddy. He was like, if we being honest, you play with like 7 Hall of Famers who are regarded as the greatest of all time, and y'all still couldn't get a ring. He said, you play with Moses Malone and Dr. J. Chuck was like, they was old. They won like 58 games that year.
Chuck had this guy as his point guard. 24 points, 12 assists. 22 points, 11 assists. 22 points, 10 assists. 19 points. The only person who was beating him at the time was John Stockton. KJ was cold. KJ is not in the Hall of Fame. KJ is not one of those names that you're going to see mentioned, but KJ was a monster. And he had a nice stretch. I think KJ gets overlooked.
I like that. That's a great way to evaluate how the NBA get the MVP award out. Jay Chris said it's like drinking red Kool-Aid because you got sick of the orange pack. That's a great, first off, Crit, red is always over orange. I don't know what you're talking about there. But it's like drinking the orange pack when you get sick of, and I'm going grape anyway, but you know what I mean. But like drinking the grape pack because you sick of the red pack. Like it's still Kool-Aid at the end of the
I ain't
day.
had Kool-Aid in so long. I don't even know what pack I like the most.
Oh man, you don't know about the brown Kool-Aid, my G? You didn't make the
Dog,
brown
the
Kool-Aid
fact that
back
you
in the
said
day?
brown, I'm cool.
Nah, dog. You ain't never make the brown Kool-Aid, dog.
I'm good.
You mix the orange up with the
Nope.
purple, nah?
Nope.
Dog, banger.
We did the white
Banger,
mystery
my
packs
boy.
a lot. That's what we
Banger,
did.
my
But
boy.
we did the mystery packs a whole lot. But
Oh, see, we ain't had the money. We didn't have the money to get real Kool-Aid with the mystery packs.
It was 50 cents.
Yeah, nah, we was buying the Aldi pack, my boy.
They were like 10 cents cheaper. like
10 cent made a difference to my mama.
okay, hey dog. Hey, I got you. But no, the interesting thing, and this is something that we've always said that we were going to do. We still ain't did it yet, but we got to do it now. Is there's too many people who played high level basketball that don't get the credit that history just seems to forget simply because their name didn't end with Jordan or start with John or anything like that.
Facts. Flavor Aid. That's exactly what it was. Bangers.
Hey, Flavor Aid, what's up?
Go ahead though. Yeah, you
But
know what?
like
I'll say this. We was gonna go back a little bit too far. Maybe we need to start with the 90s.
let's start with the 90s because guess what?
Because we was gonna go straight to the 60s.
For some odd reason, people sleep on the fact that Gary Payton was a stud in the 90s, and we make it seem like he was nobody just because of how his career ended. Like, y'all don't like no one remembers the fact that man averaged at one point 24 and 8 and was like defensive player of the year and stuff like that. Like the only point guard to ever win defensive player of the year. Like when did we start looking at best point guards and overlook Gary Payton? The man is one of the only point guards that got his own shoe back in the 90s. Name another, and it's still a legendary shoe. Kobe has a special edition of it. The
I don't know
glove had
shoes,
his own
so
shoe.
I don't know shoes, so I wouldn't even be able to go up and say somebody had them.
Dog, if they bring out the original, patent leather Gary Payton gloves, I'm getting as many pairs as I can because the new ones suck. The new one's made with this cloth material, but the old ones crazy leather. Oh, dog. Hey, Crit, you know what I'm talking about. Those shoes was cold. I never forget that. Now, Shay, I say this. Gary Payton wasn't giving Michael Jordan no smoke. Hey, I don't care what nobody say. Gary Payton wasn't giving Buddy no smoke.
All right. Gary did this is what we said. Gary made it
Interesting.
tougher, but that's all that it was. Nah, we stay getting far off of the original point. The original point was who Zion Williamson is compared to. I think Zion does have to wait. I think Zion is way too big now, but I think people look at Zion now and think that that's what Zion was when he was on the court. Now, he had gotten way too big that second year where he was doing a lot of his damage. If he could get back to where he was the first year, I think he'd be on point. Because that was all muscle. That rookie year when he came in, that was all muscle. Push away from them buffets, my boy. But also, the problem there, again, in New Orleans, you see your franchise player getting a little pudgy. You have the right contractually to put him on a diet and give him a trainer and give him a dietitian. Like, I absolutely fault the player for getting to that point. But y'all realize, like, your entire franchise right now is built on the fact that he's there. Like, you signed Brandon Ingram, but, like, you're not using him. So he don't really matter when Zion's on the floor. You had Lonzo Ball, who, he's going to be a bust. I bet y'all wish y'all used them the way we using them. Like I put a lot of what's happening down in New Orleans on New Orleans. You can absolutely, like, if you see your franchise play, hey, you're getting a little fat there. You can absolutely put him on a diet and give him a dietitian
Yes,
and do
they
all
had
of
to
that stuff.
move him to Portland.
You said what?
Yeah, they had to move him to Portland so he could stop eating.
Yeah.
Is that
And
facts?
New Orleans got, I don't know. Somebody said that. He might just be in Portland on some rehab stuff. You know, Muzz be making stuff up.
But here's the thing. I am big on a player proving they're worth the money. To me, Zion's sample size over 3 seasons is too small for me to say, hey, he's worth the money. Now, is it a major draw? Stuff like that? Cool, I'll give you that. But you
What
have to
money
keep
is he
this in
making?
mind.
NBA wise, just like contract wise, I'm saying.
I think,
All the other stuff, I blame the league for.
yeah,
That's
all
the
that stuff I
NBA's
blame.
fault.
But, for instance, he hasn't had enough time on the court for teams to even scheme from him appropriately. So we never really got to see the league make the shift to even defend him. So we're solely just rolling off of shock and awe of what he can do. That to me provides a false narrative for a player. And I think Gilbert Arenas kind of says something like that. It's you can't sit there and pay these huge contracts off the potential, because then that's you take away the whole fact that, guess what? The league, they're smart. They're gonna watch tape. They're gonna adjust. How does that player adjust to that? What's their work ethic? What's he gonna? We don't know any of that because he's never had the opportunity because he ain't been healthy enough. And at the same time, apparently, from what we see, if he's really 325 right now, he's 75 pounds overweight.
Yeah, but he wasn't playing at that.
Pat, 75 pounds overweight.
Yeah, he's not
You
doing
make it
anything.
seem as if it's like, yeah, it'd be all right. No, he's 75 pounds overweight. He can start training right now. He'll lose 40. He'll still be 30 pounds overweight on the court. He was overweight when he was doing what we saw him do.
Yeah.
We're trying to get him back to that weight, and he was too big then. He probably should have been a football player. He's probably the first person I'd be like, yeah, he probably should have played football. I could see it. He'd be a monster. I could see it. But this is all NBA trade talk and stuff like that. We're sitting there, like going through that. I really don't know. For Zion to end up in New York, if that's really what they're shaping up for, that means Julius Randle has to get moved. New York hates Julius Randle right now anyway, so he probably gets moved. Where does he land?
Hey, Julius is weird, dog. I
He
don't
is
know
weird. How you gonna slap the MacBook?
what.
How you gonna clearly they're trying to show you something. You're gonna slap the MacBook, and now you're getting tough with the trainer. Like, are you that disgruntled? Is it that bad? If it really is that bad, then you need to excuse yourself.
He
How
don't
about you
like
sit
New
down?
York. He been not liking New York though. He had a whole, you dig, where he did like the Javi Baez where he gave the fans the thumbs down because he didn't like that they started booing him. I also think Julius Randle's not a franchise player, and the Knicks were like, yeah, he is. It's like, listen, he's really nice. He's a really good player. But he's a really good player if you put other really good players around him. Y'all trying to build this man around RJ Barrett as his number 2. That's not good.
But they made it work.
Your big offseason acquisitions were Kemba Walker and Evan Fournier. You
What
thought
happened
something
to
different was
Kemba
going to happen.
Walker? What happened to Kemba Walker? Hey, you said my holy king. He said the Sixers management should have traded Ben Simmons. No, they shouldn't have. Ben Simmons has lost 19 M's because he wanted to sit out. Guess what? He's contractually obligated to perform his job and do his job. His job is to hoop. I honestly, in a matter of sweet justice, is the last thing I'm gonna say about it, because I do not want to spend another moment talking about Ben Simmons. If they don't trade him
I
and they
enjoy it
milk
because
him for
I
every penny, I will be okay with that because
hey,
I for one
I love the
do not
petty.
agree with the way he went about it. I do not agree with him playing with the whole mental health thing and not following through with protocols and stuff
Fact,
like that. I don't
fact.
agree with it. So guess what? I don't care if he's not happy or not. This is actually proving a point. And I think before I tuned in or logged on, Pat was even discussing it. It's going to ruin the CBA because you gave player too much empowerment. No,
Yep.
this is still a business. At the end of the day, you're under contract. I don't care what you hate. Don't sign the contract. You didn't hate it when you was getting them 29 M's. You didn't get it when you was sitting
And the
there.
problem is you see the effects of it, right? You see the effects of Harden, you see the effects of Simmons. John Collins just signed his money. He's still on his rookie year deal.
Hey, you wasn't hating it when you signed that big contract talking about pay me. So I hope he gets milk for every last dime.
Hey, I really do. I ain't gonna lie to you. I really do hope Philly's just like, no, you gonna sit here. We gonna trade you in the offseason. We gonna still try and add some pieces.
If we trade you, they do
But
not
I'm
have to
gonna
trade
milk you for every ounce of that contract that you got to the point where you got to start selling off legit stuff.
And he has started selling off legit stuff. You look like you got some breaking news over there, my boy.
Nah, I'm checking Twitter. You know what it's so close to the deadline that I'm like scouring Twitter,
Ain't
trying
nothing gonna
to.
happen till tomorrow, dog.
Man,
Tonight,
I feel
late
like
tonight, tomorrow.
it's such a dead deadline right now. I feel like last year's was so hype.
All the trades came in the last day.
Nah, we had trades before that. They came in kind of towards the end, but Vooch happened like today.
I mean, it's 7 o'clock.
Let's get it going, man. I'm ready.
7 o'clock.
But no, it's interesting just to see. I think you got to wait. Lucky D says, I think you got to wait because we don't know everything about Philly or Simmons. I know that he's not on the court, and I know that he's not playing, and I know that they paid him money to do his job, and he's pouting because he don't
I
want to
know.
work on his game.
I know his camp had sat there and reported that he was upset that Doc Rivers didn't come visit him. But at the same time, Doc also reported that not only was he not answering the calls, he was ignoring texts. So how is he supposed to come visit him?
Hey,
You're gonna sit there and
hey,
ignore me this entire time, and you're
I
gonna
want
say,
you
"Oh,
to
why
come.
didn't you show up?"
I want you to come see me, but I'm not gonna tell you come see me.
Or where I'm at,
Hey,
or if I'm at home.
if I'm Doc Rivers, I hit him with, listen, dog, I don't even play these games with my wife. Like, you're not that dude, dog. What are you talking about right now?
Hey, Pat, and that's a fact. We're not playing them games, dog.
Bro,
We're
I'm not
not.
playing these
We're
games.
not playing them games. Hey, Chris,
My
you want to
wife,
know why the
my
deal
wife
didn't
hit
go
me with
through? Because they didn't
I'm,
include Kobe White.
hey, I'm definitely the dude. My wife hit me with the what do you want to eat? I don't know what you want to eat. What you feeling? I don't know. All right, I'm driving to a spot. By the time I start getting closer to a spot, because she know I'm only going to like one of 4 spots, I know she gonna say something.
Nah, I got tired of that whole conversation. I just sit there and wait to see who decides that was gonna be the hungriest, and then we go with that. Because at the end of the day, it's like, hey, listen,
Oh no, see the thing is, I don't mind eating similar things the rest of the day or all the time. So like, I go to Wendy's to get the same thing. I can do that 4 times a week.
yeah, no, I can't do that part.
I have no problem with it. So I'm gonna look at you, be like, what you feel like eating? Whatever you want to eat, I'll get something. Okay. Where you
Mm-mm.
going?
It's happened one time. So what do you want to eat? I don't know. What do you got taste for? I don't know. I get whatever you want to get. All right, cool. I go say, you know what? I think I want McDonald's. I don't want McDonald's. Well, it looks like you don't want to eat. Because that's where I'm going. So nah, I don't like that. What I have a taste for, what I want to eat has nothing to do with what you have a taste for, what you want to eat. And I am not the person who's against going to multiple stops. I won't go to multiple stops because that's what you want to eat. I'm okay with that. I like driving. I will
Oh yeah,
absolutely do it.
my dad used to not do it. He'd be like, "I'm not going two places." I'd be like, "They right next door to each other."
Like it doesn't bother me at all.
Hey, it's fast food. Are we really in that big of a?
Like
I,
it's an extra song that you play in the car, and then boom, you're there. Like I don't
I like
like
being
to
in the
me, I
car
don't
though
care.
too.
But
Yeah,
I don't do that part. I'm not gonna go back and forth about it. We're not finna do none. Nah, none of that stuff is finna happen. You either
so
gonna
we say
figure it
all that
out.
to say. So we say all that to say, Ben Simmons, we not pulling up for you when you trying to hit Muzz with the whole. I want you to know what I'm thinking, not what I'm saying. What?
No, dog. We too grown for that. Way too grown for that.
my
So
whole
at the end of the
my
day,
whole
I hope the
team said
CBA
just cook.
changes.
Hey
I hope
man,
all that changes. You want to know why? Because guess what? Too much empowerment. These too much players feel like they can do whatever they want to do, and it absolutely has ruined markets in the league.
it's gonna
And
mess up the bag. It's gonna mess up the bag. John Collins right now thinks that he can do the same thing that James Harden did, that Ben Simmons did, and it's messing up the mentality of these young players. And it's not what LeBron intended to do. LeBron put them
what
in.
is John Collins doing?
Sean Collins.
You said John Collins thinks he can do the same thing. What is he doing?
John Collins just signed for big money. Now he wants out of Atlanta because he don't like his role. He been playing this role for 20 games.
Well, I tell you what, he just
That
dropped
got him to
22.
the Eastern Conference Finals last year, but now he don't want to. Now he don't like his role.
He dropped 22 and 18. At least he's disgruntled and playing. Hey,
Yeah,
you can have a problem with your role, but play
he's still
ball.
playing, but he just want out. He don't want to be in Atlanta right after signing big money. You know what I'm saying? Like, miss me with that.
Well, he was going where his contract was due. He was going to sign.
No, he didn't have to. If you didn't want to be in Atlanta, you did not have to sign. He re-upped on his. He got his max on his rookie deal.
He got the Supermax?
He got whatever he could get at that point. Whatever his, where they extend you on your rookie deal. So like you still play your next 2 years on. Like what? I think John Moran got it. Somebody just got it.
Because off his rookie deal, he's eligible for a Supermax, isn't he? Yeah.
Is he? Yeah, he would be because he's he's been with the team for enough time. So
That's a little
probably
different though. Because
it's
he was
different. It's
eligible to
different
get that
off of
type
the
of
rookie.
money. He was eligible to get that type of money anyway.
But
Like
what
I'm
I'm
looking at
saying,
his contract. That's the market for him.
yeah. But what I'm saying is that's fine. But go get it on the market then. You don't want to do it in Atlanta. Go get it on the market. Don't sign. The one thing I respect about Jay Reinsdorf, I respect a lot of things about Jay Reinsdorf. I'm not gonna lie.
125 over 5, that's a steal.
Yeah, but here's the
That's
thing.
a steal. That's cheap. That's a
But here's
tradable contract for John Collins.
But here's the thing. Even if it is, if I give you 125 over 5, I'm expecting to build my team with you a part of it.
Not really. That's 25. That's 25 million a year, which is low for his production.
I'm still expecting to build a team with you as a part of it if I give you a 5-year deal. Like if you sign this piece of paper, don't come to me complaining about I don't want to be here
over
no
5
more.
is harder.
You said what?
180 over 5 is
I'm
me
not
paying
whether
you.
this is the thing.
That's build around you max money.
Whatever the deal is, if you're signing this paper, I'm telling you I want you to be here. You're telling me you want me to be here, or I want to be with you. If you want to test the market, then go test the market. You don't have to sign the contract. But if you sign the contract, they absolutely, well, I guarantee you by the next CBA, there will be something in place that absolutely will penalize players if they sign a contract and want out in the middle of the contract. I guarantee they put something in there. Or they'll go to a lockout.
I can't say that.
I guarantee it. Because to me, you've got too many teams that are losing franchise pieces or pieces that are a huge part of what they do because all of a sudden, with nothing out of nowhere, they're just like, I don't like the role that I'm playing. You're playing the same role you played last year. They got you to the Eastern Conference Finals. We're just losing now because we went through COVID and we lost a couple of players due to injury. That happens in an NBA season. Well, maybe not COVID, but for the most part, that happens in an NBA season.
No, Atlanta underperformed. I ain't
Okay.
gonna give them that. They dramatically underperformed.
Okay. Even so, stick through it. Fight it out. You know what I'm saying? We got players that think just because you start going through a losing season, now it's time for me to get out of here. Sometimes you lose.
The reason why I say that it's I look at that a little differently is because it's a tradable contract. It's money he was going to actually get. He probably sold himself cheap because John Collins is absolutely worth more than 125 over 5.
Yeah, but John Collins is just now showing you that. Last year, he kind of had his breakout year toward the end of the season where they started getting it going. He had a good run in the playoffs.
That's the market.
Okay, and he got paid
That's the
for it.
market.
Don't come to me complaining about, oh, now it's time for me to get my money back. Or now I don't want to be here because I don't like my role.
It's definitely as tradable as I think because I've already ran the numbers.
25 mil a year ain't tradable. That's not what the problem is for me. That's not what the issue is with the contract.
Is very tradable because
yeah, it's fine.
Vooch
but
makes.
It's not.
Hey, listen, Vooch makes that.
Vooch make 20. Oh no, Vooch is like 18 something.
Vooch is like 24. Vooch is making 24 a year.
I thought Vooch got 84 over 4, right? Or no, what did he get? No, he got 84 over 4, I thought. Down in Orlando. He's still on his Orlando deal.
No, he got 100 million over 4. 25 million a year.
25 mil a year. Okay.
They just extended it 1 year. It's 125 over 5.
Dog, I have no problems with the contract.
No, I'm not just talking about you. I'm just saying, like,
my problem is with the player.
Numerically, it's not one of those things where he probably shot himself in the foot by taking a deal because Atlanta is still in a position to move him. Right? So it's one of those things where he probably took the deal, and then now what we don't realize is the Hawks are in a lot of heavy trade talks. Yeah. Maybe he don't like the direction they're trying to go because that absolutely happens. There has been on the flip side a situation where a player signs, he commits to a team, and then they like, skirt, we're going to do this. It's like, that don't make sense. That ain't why I'm here. You know what I'm saying? Like, realistically. So it's one of those things where it's like, I don't know.
But in these situations, that's not what we saw. Like, I guess in Houston, that's kind of what you saw. But also, you didn't even see James Harden give that man a chance.
No, James Harden is different.
That changed that whole franchise.
But then again, I look at James Harden's situation like this. When he forced himself out, they were kind of fire selling. They really were.
When he forced himself out, they were fire selling.
When he forced himself out, they weren't in a position to do anything. They got rid of Dan. Like, the organization was in such a state of flux, and they were getting rid of his guys.
The problem with with that is you didn't come in, and he was one of the people that was at the forefront of, we don't have enough of these. We don't have enough black coaches in prominent positions. We need to see more black people in our organizations. And when you got a black coach, you didn't even show up to training camp to work with him. And with that, if you do show up to training camp, you realize, oh snap, Christian Wood's pretty good. Oh snap, we got John Wall. Like, it's still
John Wall before he moved.
They got John Wall before he left.
That wouldn't have worked out.
Maybe not. Maybe not. But
that would have worked out.
At least, hey, look. I watched Clint Capella and James Harden work out for 3 years.
Yeah, that's cool.
Christian Wood and James Harden could work out. You know what I'm saying? Like, my only problem is how they're going about this is whenever things get tough, we get out. Whenever things get tough, we get out. That's what we're seeing as the modern move for NBA players. And that's not what as much as Muggs want to clown LeBron, that's not what LeBron did. That's not how LeBron went about his business. LeBron played through his contracts. I don't think LeBron is shorted one contract yet. LeBron stuck it out
No.
in Cleveland for how many years? Before
Oh, he
finally
was there
going
for a
down to
minute.
Miami?
He was there for a minute. What was it, 8 years?
8, 9 years, something like that, before finally going down to Miami.
8
Went
years,
through
a finals run, an ECF run.
You know what I'm saying? Went down to Miami, played out his 4-year deal there, didn't re-up. Came back to Cleveland, signed a 2-year deal, played out his 2 years there, didn't re-up. LeBron is at least going about it still respecting the organization. He's just telling y'all, pay me less years because I might want to leave. I can deal with that. Because now the organization is the one that's like, hey, I'm signing you to a 2-year deal. Instead of, I signed you here for the next 10 years and you wanted to leave a year and a half into it. That's going to mess up the money. Now you're going to see Muggs. Now you're going to get to a point where organizations are only offering y'all the LeBron deals. And then you're going to be upset and you're going to be ready to lock out. And I don't stand with the players on that one. Y'all doing this to yourselves. Ben Simmons,
Wow.
as much as weak as he is a prominent name in this NBA. James Harden is a prominent name in this NBA. And the next generation clearly shows that these mugs think that that's okay. So it's going to be interesting to see how this all play out to me, dog. It's such a weak-minded move to me. Oh, we lost this season, so I'm leaving.
The more I look at James Harden's situation, I think is a little different. They got rid of the entire staff that helped them make those finals runs, or Eastern Conference finals run. I mean Western. You know what I'm trying to say.
Western
Those
Conference
late
finals.
playoff pushes, and yeah, I probably would have an issue with that. But you know, the way that he went about it, like the one thing that you mentioned, I don't agree that. Like you can be an advocate for more black representation at the head coach position, but that doesn't necessarily mean that when we get one, I got to play just based off the situation. Like, oh, I'm glad, like, dog, I'm happy you got a job for real, like, sincerely. But they ain't got nothing to do with me. Like, it just don't. It ain't got nothing to do with what's going on over here, bro. Like, I'm glad. Hey, make the most of it. If you're a good coach, cream rises to the top, right? Boom, make it happen. But in the meantime, between time, they got rid of all my guys, and we was definitely trying to re-up to make this run out. The Warriors is down, but now we here. Nah, dog, I'm out. I kind of give
They
it
would have
that.
got cooked last year too. I think that's why he left.
Who would have got cooked?
Houston.
I
think that's why he left. Even with the Warriors down, with your best rival out of the way, you finally said, we still ain't good enough to win the NBA championship. With your best rival out of the way. Yeah, no, I'm not putting that on my legacy.
If 2017, 2018 James Harden showed up in a Brooklyn jersey, him and KD can win a chip without Kyrie.
Well, you remember last year Harden was a problem in the playoffs. Harden just got hurt. Harden got hurt bad. Harden was out there playing on, what was it, his hip or something like that? His hip or his knee, something like that.
He couldn't get no lift. He couldn't shoot.
He couldn't do nothing. Harden was literally out there like, I'm a decoy. Like, I think he said
who need to
I think he said it in like game 5. He was like, I'm out there, any attention I can get them to draw to me, which probably not a good move strategically there, James. But any attention I can get them to draw to me, hamstring, that's what it was. James, you could see him. He was out there playing at like 30%. I respected what he did going out there. This season, you got to get it together,
So
brother.
100%. If he gets it together, them two can absolutely win in Brooklyn. Like Kyrie's one of my favorite players. You all know this. I think that experiment with him was done. At this point, even I'm upset. Even
Does
I'm upset. I'm like, dog. At this point, what are we doing again?
does anybody take on that or of course somebody's gonna give him a contract, but does anybody give him more than a 2-year deal with a team option on the second year?
No, I wouldn't. And I'm a fan.
And I like you.
I like him. I like him a lot. I like his game. I really do. But
Petty
I
A.
wouldn't.
Smith over here. I like the brother. We've had grapes together.
I wouldn't do it because at this point, you know, maybe the media has not turned his attention to it, but what he's standing for at this point, I mean, cool, I guess, but it's not the science doesn't back it anymore on multiple fronts. It just don't back it. So I'm not here to kill that man about his choices, a grown man. But at a certain point, you got to make it make sense. Got to make it make sense. Again, they have 29 games left. They're number 6 in the East. He's only available for 10 of those games because he cannot play in New York.
Can he pay? Oh, you talk about right now.
He cannot play in New York.
Yeah.
What it's gonna be wild, and I think one of the things is maybe he doesn't want to feel forced to do it. Cool, I get that too. But at this point, ain't nobody forcing you. It's like, dog, we got a chance. You win or not. So it's sad to see because he's actually absolutely one of my favorite players. The game of basketball is better when he's playing at a high level.
He's still a great basketball player. Like, it doesn't change anything to me. I think that the problem with what you're seeing with Kyrie is the problem that I said, poor construction of a team. That team is terrible. Like, you got the young dudes that are doing something. Claxton's nice. I like him. What's the other one? There's another young dude on that team. That's nice. But I mean, if Harden's not putting up 40 along with Kyrie doing what he's doing, it don't matter. While Kevin Durant is out. Now, I guarantee you, by the end of the season, they're gonna be in the playoffs making serious noise because Kevin Durant will be back.
All right, dog. Let's pivot into this real quick. Let's pivot into this into some football. I'm just curious.
Here we go. Hold on. Let's do this read first. Let me pull this read up first.
It might be good to pull the read up first.
I had it up here, you know what I'm saying, but then I started clearing stuff off. Next thing you know, and Maya logged in on my you did for some reason. I don't know what's going on. Next thing you know, now the read is gone. What's happening? I do not know. I'm trying to figure it out actively. It's an ongoing situation. Hey, first off, you guys know our show is on the Contender right now. Listen live over on the Contender. The Contender is doing a giveaway. Question for you: have you ever been at a party looking for a bottle opener? Well, now you can get one from the Contender. As you know, our show airs on there, and you can listen to our show streaming or on demand on the Contender app anytime. Now, as a thank you, they're giving away a keychain bottle opener. Head to the Apple Store or Google Play Store, download the app, take a screenshot of your home screen, put your name and address in an email, and send it to thecontendersports@gmail.com. That's thecontendersports@gmail.com. Or you can send your information to a Twitter DM to either @thecontender or to the Windy City Breeze account, and they will send you a nifty Contender bottle opener, man. Nifty on that one. Nah, it's actually decent, you know what I'm saying? Gets the great for cracking open beers during a Bulls game, man. Yeah. Gotta get me one of those. But
gotta get you one, man.
Gotta get me one. Gotta catch them all. But no, let's get into some NFL football, my boy. What's on the docket there?
I got a question.
Uh-oh.
Do you think Flores should have sued after all the head coaching positions was filled? Do you feel like while there may have been some merit, it really isn't as impactful as waiting till the positions were filled? Because he was still a finalist in several positions. At this point, Lovie Smith was hired as a Texans head coach. So shout out to Lovie Smith for getting the opportunity to do that. I've always felt like he deserved another head coaching gig, so I'm happy to see that. Unfortunately, he's at a very depleted team, so I hope he gets the time frame to see it turn around.
No,
What's the deal?
I don't think that he should have waited, and I'll tell you why. Because of how the head coaching search went about. We're now at 3 minority coaching hires. I know a lot of people are upset because the one dude's mixed.
How do you get upset because someone's biracial?
because I don't know. We don't fit with any group.
No, like seriously, what?
we don't fit with any group. I will say, you could tell he's like the mix that went to definitely the whiter school, but that's okay. Like he's still mixed, still a black parent involved in there. Still, hey, listen,
I'm gonna be honest with you. That's my major gripe with our community. Like that right there makes no sense at all.
We have no community. Hey, look, and when Logic rapped about it, now granted he rapped too much about it, but when Logic rapped about it, everybody was like, "Get over it. You're mixed. You're not black either." It's like,
none of us on this show
just let me yell the N-word 4 times on that.
Everyone on this show is mixed, except for AD.
Everybody on the show is mixed except for AD. First off, why is AD not mixed?
Oh, well, clearly he's the darkest one. Clearly, that I can say that because I'm black. You know that you do know that I'm black, right? So I can say that.
I had to wrap my mind around it because I'm like, I know Kid got 2 black parents, and I know Ringo got 2 black parents. So what joke is he going for here?
My dad was biracial.
Oh, your dad was biracial?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Samurai J, what did I walk into?
I'm just saying, like, since when did being mixed mean you're less black? It don't mean I'm less black. Still got the same. If anything, in certain circles, they say, "Oh yeah, but you have opportunities that darker skinned blacks don't." It's like, guess what? The hate that you get when people realize that you're not white is still the same hate. Like it gets really awkward when you sit there and have those conversations when you're younger. So at the end of the day, like, what are we talking about?
Hey, that's why I started keeping my hat on when the police pull up. You gotta keep the hat on, you know what I'm saying? They don't know nothing. They'll be like, wait a minute. Remove your hat, sir. God dang it. We knew it.
Pat's Italian. He ain't black.
Somebody told me. I told this dude at my job, legit. I said, yeah, I'm Italian and black. He said, oh, dude, you're just black. Italians are like the blacks of white people. I was like, what does that mean? What does that mean? Like, is it a what? It was the wildest statement I ever heard, dog. But no, so here's my reasoning on why Brian Flores lawsuit was at the right time. Black head coaches around the league should have been outraged by what just happened in Houston. Black head coach, I'm not upset at Lovie Smith for taking the job, but I'm kind of upset at Lovie Smith for taking it because of how Houston went about their process, and it's an absolute slap in the face to good black head coaches.
What are you talking about? What'd they do?
The finalists were Lovie Smith and a high school coach.
No, the finalists were Lovie Smith and Brian Flores.
No, Brian Flores was absolutely removed from there because of the lawsuit. They already put that out. So the finalists, the final 2 options were Josh McCown and Lovie Smith. Not Jim Caldwell, not Leslie Frazier. Now, I don't know if these guys pulled their names from contention. That does play a part into it as well. But your finalists were a guy who was a quarterback in the NFL, last year? And coached high school football. Those are his credentials. High school football. And Lovie Smith. That's a slap to the face of, you couldn't find a coordinator. He don't even got to be black. That's a slap to the face of the coaching process. You couldn't find a coordinator. You couldn't find somebody within the organization. You couldn't find a special teams coach. That right there, that's not a black-white thing to me. Now, the black head coaches in the league should absolutely feel disrespected by the fact that that's what it came down to, and that there was even a decision to be made.
Jonathan Gannon was in the hunt just a day ago, literally a day before it boiled down to Josh McCown and Lovie Smith. The reason I bring this up.
Who's Jonathan Gannon?
He's a defensive coordinator for the Eagles. He's also a white man.
Okay.
At the end of the day, I don't care if Josh McCown coached high school. He's a former player, 1 year removed, realistically. He had a day job to find something to do. But he was a player that they gave an opportunity to. And why they interviewed other candidates. It's not a slap in the face. Be happy the man got a job. Be happy the fact that he got taken seriously.
No,
Brian Flores was absolutely a finalist in that before the lawsuit. Be happy they were taken seriously.
It's absolutely a slap in the face.
It's not.
It's absolutely a slap.
No, it's not. You can't.
This is not the NBA
because they wanted to sit there and interview a guy, and he interviewed well.
This is not.
They interviewed the guy. He interviewed well.
It's not about it. It's not about them interviewing him. It's the fact that he really was considered for this job
because he interviewed well.
Hey, listen.
And he was a former player who interviewed well. It'd be different if he was like, yo, they were about to hire a high school coach who ain't never had no NFL experience. He's a former freaking player.
So what? This ain't the NBA.
And guess
what? Name me one player. Name me one player. Name me one player that went straight from playing to being a head coach. Name me one.
Steve Nash.
NFL.
I can't. NFL's not my sport.
You can't because it's not happened.
It's not my sport.
It's happened maybe in the 50s when it was like, we're
Keyshawn
making
Johnson went from not having the thing to getting offered a general manager's position that he totally denied. He talks about it all the time.
You said what?
Keyshawn Johnson talks about how he was offered a general manager's position and he had no qualifications for it at all, but he turned it down. What did he do outside of play?
Keyshawn Johnson at that point, I don't know. I don't know when he got offered it.
He talks about it all the time. Did he do anything to deserve a general manager job? I'm not saying he did, but I don't remember hearing it. Was he a coordinator somewhere? Was it like what made him go there?
I don't know.
Think about it like
Keyshawn's been a part of front offices.
What did Ryan Post really do to get a GM job?
No, Keyshawn's been a part of front offices though.
What
Keyshawn was a part of Tennessee's front office for a while, wasn't he?
What did he do?
I don't know. Worked his way up in the front office, but he's probably just, I don't know. But even so, Ryan Poles absolutely worked his way up through the ranks. Like Ryan Poles was assistant. No, he was the head of the scouting department. Those are guys that get jobs all the time as GM.
Here's my thing. What does it matter? Like, pick an argument. We can't complain about every freaking thing because it's not like, oh, look at this. The black guy had to compete with a high school head coach. No, what about the defensive coordinator that was in the running too? What about Brian Flores that was in the running too? What about all the other coaches that this high school coach beat out? It's not a black-white thing. It's not a slap in the face to coaching. He beat them out because he probably interviewed well. He's a former player, and they liked what he brought to the table. They was willing to give him a shot. Guess what? That happens.
Nah.
That happens.
Nah.
but pick a freaking side. Stop complaining about everything.
Nah,
Like that's not a slap in the face.
it is.
It's not.
It is.
It's not.
I get what you're saying, and if it was the NBA, I'd agree with you. But
It's
it's
not.
not. It's not the NBA. That's not how you go about doing it.
Okay.
And it's the
Again,
reason the Texans are in the state that they're in right now.
regardless.
You brought a guy in last season and you fired him after a year with where he actually performed above where the team he had.
Hey, I love all of these things. Like by the logic that we're using, that could be applied to several sports. Becky Hammond ain't played a game of professional NBA basketball, but she sure was. People were sure talking about. Hey, she should be a coach. She should be a head coach of a men's basketball team. This, that, and the other. Listen, come on now. We have
She
to
also
stop
coached
that.
in the NBA.
Okay,
She
again,
coached her way up and through the ranks. Yeah,
again.
that makes sense.
No,
How does that not make sense?
no.
Was she an
You know how
NBA
many?
coach?
If we go down this rabbit hole,
Was
especially
she an NBA
on that note,
coach?
if we go down this rabbit hole, especially on that note, it's
Was
not
she
going
an
to look
NBA
good.
coach?
It's not going to look good.
Was she an NBA coach?
She was assistant coach.
Okay. She was a coach in the NBA.
How many people?
Did she work her way up through the
How
ranks in
many
the
people?
NBA?
How many people did she beat out for that assistant coach role?
I don't know.
Quite a few.
Okay.
Let me ask you something.
She didn't go
Some of those
straight
people,
to that
some of
assistant
those
coach
people,
role, though.
doesn't matter how she got there. A lot of those people were more decorated. Even some of them former players.
But did she work her way up through the ranks?
Let me ask you this. Why was she given a chance?
Because she was a woman.
Okay.
Did she work her way up from the bottom to where she got, though? She didn't go just straight to Pop's number 2.
Let me ask you this. What was her career trajectory? How long did she work? How long did she get there? Now, this I absolutely know.
How long
And
has
I
Becky
absolutely
been a
know some of the
coach?
candidates that she supposedly beat out.
How long has Becky been a coach?
Yeah, I want to know it.
I don't know. How long is she? What?
Do you
5
think
years? 6
she's
years?
been? Did you think she's been in those roles long enough for you to say, yeah, she should be the next Spurs head coach?
I think she's been in those roles long enough that Greg Popovich decided that he was going to promote her in his system over other people. See, that's a different situation. What you're saying is that the head coach who's currently in place promoted her to his number 2. But whether she beat out all these mugs or not, that's Greg Popovich saying that, no, you're better than they are. That's not
Greg being nice.
That's not the GM.
She played underneath him. She sat underneath him. She's smart. She's all these things. Here's my question. She was given an opportunity based off the merit that she had the intelligence and deserved a shot. And she got a shot. I'm not hating on the fact that she got a shot. But let's not make it seem as if she was the most qualified, this, that, and the other. She was smart. She got a shot. And we appreciate it. And Greg Popovich, again, in so many ways, is leading the charge in a lot of different diversity things. Greg has been a trailblazer in a lot of different things, even speaking up about racial inequalities and things like of that nature amongst head coaches. Always appreciated that about him. Always. But it's all about being provided an opportunity. And that has no color barrier. So I'm not going to sit here and complain about one. Well, look at who he had to beat up. That person didn't just beat out a black coach. He beat out some other coaches who actually coach, who are actually part of organizations and stuff like that. He got an opportunity, a shot, and ultimately just didn't land a job.
But what the part you're missing is that
What am I missing?
He leapfrogged.
He didn't leapfrog anybody. He interviewed better.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't leapfrog anybody. He interviewed better.
What did he do coaching wise to get the interview?
How about
See,
this?
the Becky Hammon example was a
He
poor one because
applied.
Becky Hammon was a coach.
He
Becky
applied.
Hammon worked her way up through the ranks, and whether you think Pop put her in that position because she's a woman or not, Pop put her in that position to where she can start getting NBA head coaching opportunities. But she was working her way through the ranks. Josh McCown stopped saying hike for a paycheck 2 weeks ago, and all of a sudden he's sitting in the front office. He's done nothing to be in that position. And he's being looked at over a bunch of candidates who had, and a
Over
bunch of
who?
candidates who clearly were looking for head coaching jobs.
Who
Now I
did
don't
he
know if
get
they
looked
pulled
over?
their names out.
Who did he get looked over? Because here's the thing. To say he
Fam,
got looked
how
over,
many
he
how
lost
many
the job. He didn't
how
get the
many people
job.
the fact that he's in how many people went for head coaching candidate jobs this year?
Several. How many people went for the Texans head coaching job? We were sitting there last week talking about Texas as a dumpster fire. No one wants to go down there. And you're right. Nobody wanted to go down there.
Nobody want to
So,
go down there.
so
That's
the
why I
simple
said I
fact
don't
that
know. I don't know who pulled their names out. I don't know who didn't go down there for it.
so you can't complain about both. No one wanted to go down there. So they had very few high
None of
quality
the
people to
top.
interview.
None of
Josh
the
McCown went down there, interviews well. Guess what? He interviews well. We're making it seem as if Lovey was in a tight race. Lovey went down there. It was supposed to be between Lovey and Brian Flores. The only reason
Here's the
Flores
thing.
is not getting the job is because of a lawsuit.
Lovey didn't go down there. If you saw, okay, Brian Flores is out, there should have never been nothing else. Lovey was there. Lovey was their defensive coordinator last season. He was in the building.
Again, who's to sit there and say that it worked out that way? The optics of it, we're adding context to something that we have no idea. All we know is, hey, this guy was a candidate and he made it further in the interview process. We should be more upset at the fact that he beat out Gannon because Gannon apparently has more
I said
experience.
to me, I said this isn't a black-white thing. I said this is a slap in the face of NFL coaches.
It's not.
And it is, because here's the thing. There's coordinators that could have been asked to be interviewed. There's people that have worked their way up through the systems that could have been asked to be interviewed. Hey,
If they were
there's
literally
doggone
about to hire Josh, then why didn't they hire him?
if they were, because Lovey Smith
Why didn't
honestly,
they hire him?
because Lovey was there.
Call it a spade. Call a spade a spade. If you're going to say it's because of the lawsuit, say it's because of the lawsuit.
No,
Don't
because
make up
Lovey was
something.
there.
Don't make up something stupid and just say, well, they were literally about to do this. Well, if they literally, like, if you the word literally means that they were executing. Like, if they literally were doing it, then he would have the job. He doesn't have the
Who
job.
said they were literally about to do it?
You got to read the room, baby. Read the room.
God dang it! Stay out of the chat. I'm talking to you.
I'm reading. I'm
out of the
fighting
chat.
you.
I'm talking to you. This month,
demons over here. I'm fighting everybody. I'm controlling the room.
Jesus
Don't worry about it.
Christ. I'm trying to figure out what you're talking about. This man's over here. He's over there.
I'm everywhere. You want to
There's
why?
5 kids on the court right now.
What I do. Control the room. At the end of the day, no one wanted to go down to Texas. No one wanted that job.
None of the head coaching, like the big name head coaches, wanted to go down to Texas. But instead of reaching out to a coordinator in your system, instead of reaching out to a coordinator on another system, on another team that's trying to get his first opportunity, his first crack at a job, your first person that you reached out to wasn't even the coordinator on your team. It was Josh McCown.
Do we even know the real circumstances of how he interviewed?
Of how he interviewed?
Was the job available and he applied and they interviewed him?
No, they reached out to Josh to bring him in for an interview.
Okay.
He was just like the Bears reached out to like all them candidates, because you got to request to interview Muggs. He was the first person they reached out to. He was the first person they requested.
Okay.
Instead of the coaches that are even in your own building.
And they hired one of the coaches in their building. Do we know when they talked to Lovey? Do we know the circumstances behind any of that? The only thing we keep saying is, well, this is a slap to the face of the coaches because this, and they requested this, they requested that. Well, if Lovey is already there, is it very possible that they're like, hey, yeah, we would love to interview you? and we're going to, field some other candidates, as most jobs do. Like, what are we upset about?
What I'm talking about is you went
They
straight.
requested Josh, right? So that means that they saw something there and they wanted to bring him in. Okay, let them bring him in. Let them bring him in. That's
Nah,
their
it's not.
right. So
Nah,
what?
I don't like it.
So what? How about this? Let's be more happy that Lovey got a job. Let's be
I'm
more
happy
happy that
Lovey got a
Brian
job.
Flores, who they requested, was a finalist despite a lawsuit. Until the lawsuit.
I'm happy
He's
Lovey
also a
got the
finalist
job.
for the Saints
I
job.
told you. I'm glad Lovey got the job. What I'm upset at is that Houston, the dumpster fire that it is, continues to be a dumpster fire, and we're just like, oh, that's cool.
They have the right to interview whoever they want to interview, and they did it, and they hired the right guy. We can move on from that part.
Yeah,
If
but are
there's
you
a
going to
coach
give
out
him a
there that
fair
has a
shake?
problem, guess what?
That's the
If
question. Are they going to give him
there's
a
a
fair
coach out
shake?
there that has a problem, do better. Do better.
It,
Like, I don't
it's one.
like.
Well, it comes down to, are you going to give him a fair shake at the job, even, or is he a placeholder?
Did Gannon get a fair shake?
Gannon hasn't been a head coach.
He's a defensive coordinator.
Yeah, he's
Did
still the
Gannon get a
DC
fair
for Philly.
shake?
He's still the
Did he
DC
get a
for
fair
Philly.
shake?
What you mean?
Did he get a fair shake? Did he
At
get
what?
an
He hasn't been a head coach.
Did he get a fair shake at the job? Did they give him a fair look? Did he get a
That's
fair
not what I'm
shake?
talking about. I'm talking about, is he going to get a fair shake at being a head coach on that team?
Who, you talking about, Lovey?
Talking about Lovey. They just fired a dude after a season where they gave him no talent.
Hey, that's a bigger Okay, now we're talking. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about how that's going to shape up. But the interviewing process, stuff like that, it's a non-issue. It's a non-factor. They
It's
did what
not,
they wanted to do. They hired the right guy. Move on.
I
Hired the
mean,
right guy.
you hired the right guy. I give you that.
Y'all said you literally said, instead of interviewing the people there, well, they did that. They did it.
Yeah, but to go, come on, dog.
No,
It's not the NBA.
come on. They did
It's
it.
not the NBA.
They
It's
did
not
it.
the NBA.
They
It's not
did
the
it.
NBA.
He
You
got a
don't
fair
start. You don't go
They
straight to a
interviewed him.
player.
Guess what? They interviewed other candidates. He got the job.
You don't go straight to the player, dog. Come on, dog. You know it's not about the hire itself. It's about how they went about it. You're making great content out here.
The problem is I'm not upset about how they went about it. They reached out to him. If they liked what he was saying, what he potentially brings to the table, and they were looking at flirting with that idea and being different, okay, fine. They're in such a dust and fire of a situation. They probably need different. So guess what? I'm not mad at it. I'm not. And at the end of the day, the best person got the job. So I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it. Why would I be mad? Why would I be mad?
Hey, you funny, dog.
I mean, okay. Hey, listen, you know how many people I beat up for some of the positions I've held? That people took a chance on me when I definitely was with some people like well overqualified. It happened.
But kid, you're also working in the field and working your way up.
No, dog. At the time I got some of those opportunities, I absolutely was the new kid on the block that they just rode with. There was nothing there over people who've been in the industry with accolades and awards over me. I interviewed well. I got a shot. It worked out. That's how it happened. That's how it happened.
Hey.
So at this point, should that like it happens that way? I interviewed really well. It worked out. They rolled the dice. Boom, I'm still in the industry. Cool. I called a break. Josh could have called a break. I'm not going to be mad for a guy who potentially could have called a break. I'm not going to be mad about that. So at the end of the day, Lovey, happy he has another job. What's the metric now? What are we going to do? Like, he has no quarterback.
That's the problem.
Is it David Mills still there? What happened?
It's about, is he going to get a fair shake? The reason they're in this is because you fired a dude that you didn't allow to build a system.
What does a fair shake look like now, though? Lovey's a defensive coach. Are we gonna hold him to the
More than a
staff he
year.
hired? Like what?
Dave Culley had a season. You hired Dave Culley just to be there. Like you hired him with no intent of actually letting him develop anything. You're not going to build a system in a year. Lovie Smith is not going to turn that team around in a year.
I don't know how anybody turns that team around in a year.
You give Lovie 4 or 5 years on that team, yeah. Are you going to give Lovie 4 or 5 years on that team? The team has no talent. It's literally a team with zero talent left. All the talent you got rid of. And you're trying to get rid of the last piece of talent. The best option on that team right now is what? Will Fuller? And let's stop acting like
is it Will Fuller?
Let's stop acting like Lovie Smith is this oh my God head coach. Lovie Smith did good things here with the Bears. He's not Bill Belichick. I see y'all in the chat. Now I'm weaving in and out of the chat. Now I'm
Live dangerously, dog.
Now I'm pulling the you move.
Live dangerously.
I love Lovie. I love what Lovie did here. Lovie Smith held on to his players too long and it fell apart. You know what I'm saying? Will Fuller's on the Dolphins. Dang, they ain't even got Will Fuller.
Yeah, I was about to sit there and say who's on the Texans
not Will
right
Fuller.
now?
Who am I thinking of? It's not Will Fuller. It's dang, what is Buddy's name?
I don't know.
I play with him on Madden all the time. Well, not no more.
Hey,
look, not no more.
Like you playing with him on Madden, he must not be there. Like what?
Traded for him. No, I'm just playing. I can't think of his name. He used to stand across from dang, what is his name? That sucks. I can't think of it. It's really irritating.
I hate to go back to this, but Brian Flores said that the NFL lawsuit is the only reason why Lovie Smith got the Texans job over him.
Yeah, I said that.
So that goes to show me that this Josh McCown experiment was probably an afterthought. If there wasn't a lawsuit, there would probably been two black head coaches potentially for the job, with him being like this throw in. I mean, hey, it is what it is. We don't have to go back to it. Who's on the Texans?
Like, I'm trying to think of Buddy's name. Is
there's
Will
nobody
something?
on the Texans? Tyrod Taylor?
No, he's a wide receiver. He got suspended this season for PEDs.
Well, dog, if it Dorsett?
No.
Like, who are we talking about?
Hey, listen. This is the problem though. The names you saying are awful. It tells you a lot. Fam, hey, that's a fact. All I remember
it was
Brandon
Will
Cook.
Fuller. Fuller did get suspended for PEDs. He's just not there no more.
Was he on the?
He was on the Texans when he had
was on the Texans, right? I know I'm not tweaking. No, I'm not crazy, dog. Stop playing with me.
Texans wide receiver Will Fuller has been suspended 6 games for a PED violation. Yeah, but this was 2020, so he got moved since then. Not early.
Oh, okay, never mind. Hey, listen, I probably ain't paid attention to him since then.
Yeah, he's definitely in Miami right now. That's definitely a Miami jersey.
My question is, does Lovie get a fair shake to put in his system? Does Lovie's system even work anymore? You know what I'm saying? Like that's the real question. Does Lovie's system even work anymore? Because Lovie's Tampa 2 style defense works for the offenses he was facing at that time. You saw when it started to not work, when that defense got older and the next generation wasn't able to do it. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay, well, now we're going to see if he can do it down with the Buccaneers. He couldn't.
Are you going to give him a chance to do it?
I think every NFL head coach should get 5 years minimum.
Now that I don't agree with.
If you're going to put a system in,
Not
Well,
at all.
I'll say this.
I
I'll
would have
say this.
fired Nagy 3 years in. I don't
Well,
care
this
what
is the thing.
nobody
This is
say.
the thing. This is the thing. I'll say this with the caveat that you're seeing development. If you're seeing development, you should have that time to put your system in, especially if you're coming from nothing.
You're
Right?
about to. Hey, listen. If a head coach is there for 5 years and
Well,
hey,
because this
you're
is the
talking about
thing, right?
killing a team and talent, dog. You about to change lives based
No,
off
no,
that rule.
no, because this is the thing. If you look at
Hey,
if you
Pat, it
look
kills
at
people's careers.
right, if you
Hey,
look at
Pat is
how
like,
long it
no, I trust my head coach in this system. Year 2, year 5 comes around. This perennial talent is still on the bench. Like,
no, but what I'm saying is like
I'm just joking, dog. I'm having fun.
if you give a coach 3 years, you talking about 3 rookie classes. So realistically, by the time your first rookie class starts to figure out what the heck's going on, you still got 2 others that's still trying to figure it out with
It's
what he got
always a
going on in
learning process.
Houston.
It's forever a learning process, though. So I mean, like
Yeah,
you
but
said,
you
it
gonna
has to
need
show improvement.
you got to show improvement. I agree
If
with you on
you've
that.
been 8-8 this entire time, I'm sorry, that's not improvement. You just did the bare
No,
minimum
no,
of
no.
working out.
I agree with you, but what I'm saying is like you have to one, you have to draft well, one, you have to get the talent in the room, and two, you have if you're not giving a head coach 5 years, you're really only giving him one draft class to work with. Realistically, like by the time you get to year 4, you've got one draft class that's figured out how the NFL works. Maybe. And that's if everybody in that draft class hit. And now you got to get the other one kind of almost to figuring out what the NFL. Like we're talking about year 2 and 3 players at that point. In a situation that Lovey's in. I'm just talking about in Houston right now. They have to build through the draft right now. They're not going to get players down there. You're about to lose Deshaun Watson, probably to trade. You're about to lose, or you have nothing else down there already. Yeah, I'm saying if you were keeping Deshaun, maybe there's a shorter leash on that. And they're probably still going to have a short leash on Lovey anyway. Lovey could probably go 11-5 and they'd fire him.
Yeah.
But they're probably going to have a short leash on Lovey anyway. So
Here's the thing. I think we could look at it from that lens, and it's not a bad lens to look at it from. It's a very valid thing in our experience, and what's been reported. There's that concern. On the flip side, playing devil's advocate as I always do, this could be the best situation for Lovey because the expectations for him are already low. The expectations for the team are already low. There is not much we can expect in the next year. So any type of success that they have, if they win 6 games next year, that's a win for him.
I can
Because
see
they
him
were
doing it because
trash this season. What
no,
was their
no,
record this season?
3 and something.
Yeah, if he doubles their win percentage and with the same talent or with very small changes to the roster, which is what it's going to look like.
4-13 this year.
Yeah, he wins 6 to 7 games. He's made them more competitive already with the same talent there, right? That's all you can really do. A good head coach can take a trash team and etch out a couple more wins. You still need the talent. Let's not get like Bill Belichick with no talent won 7 games.
Saw that.
Yeah, he won 7 games. Right? It's still Bill, right? Guess what? Bill still had a better team than what Lovey has right now.
My God, dog. They are bad. Have you ever watched the game?
The Texans game?
They were decent when Tyrod was healthy. They were decent at best.
I watched 2 games, one with Tyrod and one without.
Yeah,
I didn't like
Tyrod,
either.
it was without Tyrod.
I didn't like either.
Hey.
I think I did a crossword puzzle during the middle of it. I'm not gonna lie.
And here's the problem, right? You're only gonna be able to build through rookies because nobody wants to go there.
No one wants to go there. So here's the thing. If he can etch out a couple more wins, it's a win for him. It's all about the narrative at that point. If we allow the narrative to be that, hey, they go from 4 wins to 6 wins, 4 wins to 7 wins, but they've made no major changes to this team, that goes to show you that he's a good coach. Something's working there.
I think
Something's
Lovey's a
clicking.
good coach. I just
Yeah, but
I
it's
wonder if
it's
his
about him getting
defense
in fair
is
shape. You know what I'm
still.
saying?
I wonder if his defense has passed him by though, and he's still holding on to it. That's the scary part
I
because
can
there's a
see that.
lot of even what Eberflus was talking about here in Chicago, he was like, "This is the defense that what the defense we're going to run is the defense that got you to the Super Bowl in '06." But there has to be changes in it because the offense is doing things different. So now you have to put in different blitz schemes and different zone coverages that are mixed in with what you're doing with the please don't do that. Don't send Mitch to Houston. I don't even want to see that. I don't
Maserati Mitch in Houston.
I don't even want to see it.
Maserati Mitch to
Fam,
Houston.
let me tell you this. Let me tell you this.
If
If you
Lovey
have
Smith get that boy clicking,
hey,
I'm
hey,
talking. I'm
hey,
telling you right now. You make him never hit
hey,
a done.
kid, if you have any hope of Mitch being the player that you think he's that he can be, you do not want to see Mitch in
I
Houston
just
next
want Mitch
season.
in a starting job without Matt
Hey,
Nagy
he
as a
might
head
get a
coach.
starting job. He might get a starting job, but you do not want to see him in that job.
I believe in Mitch.
Also, I'll tell you this: Mr. Trubisky not beating out Tyrod Taylor if Tyrod stay. Tyrod's a better quarterback.
Now that I can believe.
Tyrod's a better quarterback. Tyrod, man, talk about getting the short end of the stick. All dog. Took Buffalo to their first playoff game. Get the black guy out of here. I don't know if that's what they said, but close enough. But but
You say you
no.
want to send Mitch to Lovey.
You want to
I
send
want to
Mr.
see. No,
Lovey?
seriously, in all sincerity.
Don't do that.
No, all jokes aside, because I got to give clarity to this one because the Kobe White thing went too far. People like, you just hate Kobe White. I was like, nah, I don't hate him. But he's just not
You
the
do be.
best
Hey,
opportunity.
I'm not gonna lie to you. It might be hate at this point, though.
I don't have any hate for him. This
Hey,
is just not a good opportunity for him.
Somebody was like, "Hey, we heard that there was a buy one get one free on at the bodega up the street. Kobe White in a second.
I'm gonna tell you this right now.
Wrong conversation.
His jersey probably is gonna be on the buy one get one free thing. I'm gonna be honest with you. like an authentic NBA Kobe White jersey is probably gonna go for like $20 in the churro at this point. So like it's not.
I tell you that. That's why I don't buy draft prospect jerseys though.
Yeah, I give you
That's
that.
why I don't buy draft prospect jerseys though, dog. Must be out here. Nah, I could have bought a Morant jersey and been cool.
Yeah, boy, Morant different, dog. But I'm gonna say this: there are certain players who I feel were given opportunities and didn't make the most of it across sports. And there are certain players who I feel were given an opportunity, and not given the appropriate support.
Yeah.
It's not just Mitch. I feel that way with when it comes to QBs not getting support. Deshaun Watson to me is the best QB in the NFL league, in the football league. He really is. We took all his targets. Well, they took. I ain't gonna say we. They took all his targets and stuff like that, and he still put together a heck of a season.
Yeah.
From a personal production standpoint, I don't put Patrick Mahomes over him. I don't put Josh Allen over him. I don't put Tom Brady over him. I don't put Aaron Rodgers over him because I saw what he did with absolute nothing.
Yeah.
No targets and stuff like that. And he made really poor receivers look good because of where he positioned and stuff like that. If you just watch the games. It's like when they said he was a Michael Jordan, I said I can see it.
Hey,
I can see it. It's clear.
hurts me. It hurts me so much. It's like to me, dog. Hey,
it does hurt.
There's one thing. There's one I can forgive Ryan Pace for Pat Mahomes. I really can. I really can because Pat Mahomes was a shock.
Yep.
I can forgive Ryan Pace for. I cannot forgive you for Deshaun Watson. You didn't even talk to.
I give you that.
The dude that they said in a city that Michael Jordan made his name in, they said he's the Michael Jordan of football. I at least got to look. The Bulls took a glance at Michael Petrus. Hey, listen, whenever somebody say it's the new, what was he? He was the French Jordan. There's been so many Jordans.
Yeah.
He was French Jordan. Who was Baby Jordan? There was Baby Jordan.
Harold Miner.
There was, you know what I'm saying? Hey, listen, Jordan attached to it, you look. I'd have been like, all right, I don't know if he's Jordan, but I look.
It's just slipped my mind. I looked at Andrew Luck.
Yeah.
Andrew Luck, although he ended up being a complete stud, had absolutely no help on that O-line. there's a select
Sad
number
part
of
is by the
people.
time they fixed the line, he was like, "Yeah, I'm done."
Yeah, even Justin Fields right now. Justin Fields got no help.
Yeah,
So I feel like those particular QBs, like, by the numbers and stuff like that, Justin Fields is not the MVP candidate that we think he's going to. Now, I hope he evolves into that. But as I keep telling people, just allow the kid to develop. Let him get his real first season under a good head coach, and let him to develop. Let's not blow
let's
things
hope.
out of proportion. Like I just want him to have the opportunity to develop without these high expectations that could absolutely kill his career. Because if we put MVP level, aspirations on him, and he had no help and no real development, and he spent a year under Nagy, we would be calling him a bust compared to where we wanted to. And that's just our fan base. I know our
Yeah,
fan base. We are a hard city to play for. We really are.
we're a big enough
We are
fan
like
base that
Philly.
we're a big enough fan base that we have fans and we have fanatics. That's what most big cities have. LA is different because like LA, there's always been so much to do. So it's like, oh, the Lakers are good. Let's go watch the Lakers. But when the Lakers are bad, it's like, hey, we can also not go watch the Lakers.
The same people that want Derrick Rose to come back 10 years later were the same people talking about trade him in 2014.
Oh, facts.
So because I've seen what we did to our own, nah, I don't. I just know what this fan base does, and it's real toxic.
But
It's
you
real
think it's
toxic.
just our fan base. That's what I'm saying. Like,
No, I know it's not. I know it's everywhere, but
it's
because I'm
real.
here and I
You know
see
what
it,
it is? It's blue
nah, I
collar
don't rock
fan
with it.
bases. It's blue collar fan bases. You know what I'm saying? Like Indiana's losing their mind about the Pacers right now.
Now, mind you, Philly rallied around Jalen. Was God? No, is his first name Jalen?
Jalen Hurts, nah.
They did rally around Hurts. They really did. They rallied around that kid nice, and he showed. And listen, that kid had good athleticism. He definitely had accuracy problems, but they was like, "This is our QB" and stuff like that. They rallied behind him. I we don't do that. We don't do that. And to me, I've always labeled it the curse of Michael Jordan.
But no, I'll say at this point in Mitch's career, we did, because this is what Hurts' second year. This is Hurts' second year, I think.
Don't quote me on that one because I didn't follow him that
I mean,
tough.
we could look it up. Yeah, I mean, none of us did, but
I
it's
mean,
not just you. No clue. I said it with a question mark. No, and
it's his second year.
so at this point we were
It's
all,
his second year, and he went 16. He had 3,100 yards, 16 TDs, 9 INTs. Mitch gave you much better production.
But year two of Mitch, we all were loving Mitch. Year one of Mitch, year two of Mitch, we all were like, this is the guy that's going to lead us to the Super Bowl. Year three of Mitch, we were like, maybe not. And by year four, we were like, why does he keep missing that dude?
Mitch has never had a season with us that he didn't outperform Jalen Hurts.
I didn't say he didn't. Listen, I'm not telling you he didn't. I'm just saying that.
Heck, he barely played half a season in 2020. He still put up Dak, I just had it open. Good Lord. How did I forget that fast? I'm getting old. He played half the season, put up 2,000 yards, 16 touchdowns. Barely played the season.
Well, no, that's last year.
He played 8
that's
games.
last year with Foles in them.
He played 8 games. He did the split and everything like that. He put up 2,000 yards and 16 touchdowns.
Hey, I don't disagree with you.
He put up more TDs than
I'll say Mitch is better than Hurts. They similar style players. You know what I'm saying? They similar style players where, like, if I need you to win me this game, I'm nervous.
That's a good point, Tom. You know who else is but you know who I could compare Mitch's numbers to? And he's a first round pick, Justin Fields. First round pick, played more games. Worse production. You can't play that game. That's not the game to play. Is it Justin Fields' fault? No. I blame Matt Nagy through and through. But I also blame Matt Nagy for Trubisky not developing.
I feel like, hey, I'll say this. if y'all get a chance, I don't know if it's still on the Waddle and Sylvie podcast, go listen to Bill Polian and how he broke down what happened to Justin Fields last year.
I don't like the way he sounds.
You know what? I like
Something about the way he talk. I don't like it.
I'll say this. Justin, how he talks about Justin is that essentially what he says is Matt Nagy was trying to run an offense that was more complicated than maybe even Nagy knew. But at the same time, he alludes to somewhat that like there was some coercing to put the kid out there that maybe it wasn't the coach's decision to put him into the starting position because the kid wasn't ready.
He sounds like Joel Osteen. He does.
He do sound like Joel Osteen.
He does. Oh my
he
God.
do sound like Joel Osteen.
Dog, I'm sorry. I can't stand it. Oh God, I can't stand it.
Hey, listen, he won some Super Bowls. That's all. That's all it is. It's just like
he's one of the most winningest GMs or something like that. Like he puts together a lot of
good franchises. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
He's put together a lot of good franchises. My thing with it is it tells you like Bill Polian walked in the room, looked at your entire team, essentially broke it down and said, y'all got 7 players that I would think about keeping. You've got 3 that you cannot get rid of, and 2 of them are on rookie deals.
hey, I got to give Rachel to say credit my take on wax. Yeah, Rachel, you caught that one. You caught that.
Credit my take on wax. But that's who. The Joel Osteen take. No, that's a fact. The second he said it, it was like, it seems like he keeps kids out of churches. It seems like he doesn't let you into the church during a hurricane. You know what I'm saying?
The one thing that I don't like doing to young players is putting these astronomical expectations on him. Phillip Rivers is a legendary QB. Never won a ring. Very exciting. If we had a Phillip Rivers type QB in Chicago, we'd be jumping for joy.
Well, he'd be the greatest quarterback we've ever had.
Ever. Yeah. By far. Not even close.
By a lot.
like there's a mile and then there's country mile.
I was dying. Who was buddy? Joe from that was on the Washington side of the Contender. He said it's been 8 years since we had a quarterback. I wanted to be like, hey, bud, F you, bud. 8 years.
There's miles and there's country miles, and then there's I don't know what's after that, but at this point, Phillip Rivers would be that. He never won a ring. He was pretty freaking accurate, except for some miscues that always happen at the wrong time.
Hey, listen. Yeah, I was gonna say a lot of Phillip not winning a ring.
It was miscues that happened at the wrong time. But outside of that, you couldn't tell me that he didn't have stretches where he dominated.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Justin Fields could be that potential player, or he can be close. But it doesn't mean that we're gonna win a chip. Doesn't mean that we're gonna. Like you see what I'm saying? Like there's so many different tiers to this.
Yeah.
That it's okay in developing and stuff like that. You just gotta let him be him and see what that shapes up to be. I don't credit.
And the other thing that Polian said is to everyone who was a Mitch supporter's credit was what you won't see this regime of the Chicago Bears do is try and fit the quarterback to a system, not fit the system to a quarterback.
That's why I don't kill Mitch. I don't. I'm in a situation. I'm in a situation right now professionally where I went to an organization that literally tried to fit me into their system as opposed to allowing me to instead of developing the areas I was lacking and allow me to just be who I am. And it's absolutely going horribly.
The difference in the two, though, is Justin is more like you, where Justin can actually play the quarterback position. When you look at his mechanics, they look good. When you look at him in the pocket, he looks comfortable until the pocket falls on top of him. In fact, he's been so comfortable in the pocket that he's taken a shot while delivering really good passes. Mitch never looked comfortable playing quarterback. Mitch looked comfortable running around and every now and then throwing the ball down the field.
Mitch on the run is pretty good.
But the difference there is that, what have we said? Those guys aren't successful long-term in the NFL.
But I think that if you put a system around him,
like Mitch is more, let's be real, Mitch is more Lamar Jackson than Josh Allen. The only reason we compare him more to Josh Allen is because he's white.
Well, that's true.
Like, honestly, Mitch is more Lamar Jackson than Josh Allen.
That's true. But here's the thing.
Minus the amazing athleticism.
Look at what happened. They went from him on the bench to can he really play QB to a coach being like, all right, man, what can you really do? And allowing him to do what he really does. And then all of a sudden he wins an MVP. Now, I'm not saying Mitch is going to win an MVP. But what I am saying is we never really got the most out of that kid because we tried to fit him into something that he didn't fit in. Jimmy G is probably a really good QB.
Yeah.
But he's in a situation where they try to sit there and force them into the thing.
Another different situation because Jimmy G is a good QB when he plays in the system. We saw what happened when you need Jimmy G to drive you down the field.
I don't care what you say. Jimmy G and his last name looked good, except for that last throw. He looked real good. I thought he was on par. Most analysts said that for a while he outdueled Aaron Rodgers, and I believe it. I looked at it. I was like,
he outdueled Aaron Rodgers in the playoff game.
Yeah, look at it. Look at those drives.
I looked at his 139 yards and almost a game-changing interception in the red zone. I watched it. Hey, I watched it closely because Jalen was here, so I was killing him the whole time.
Is a couple drives. I was like, yeah, that's okay. I can see what he can do.
Yeah.
Now, when that pressure was on him, he had a Jimmy G moment. You know what it was? It was a Phillip Rivers moment. It's like, God dang it, Phil. Like, you don't do that, right?
Yeah.
But he's probably a better QB than he gets credit for. It's one of those things that it's just like, man,
he's probably that guy.
Hey,
he's not bad. This is the thing.
Anybody that kills me. It's not my take. Go look at the tape. A lot of analysts said he outplayed Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah,
I didn't say it.
I mean, this is the thing. Are they saying he outplayed Aaron Rodgers is like they won the game? Or is he saying he outplayed him like he played better than Aaron?
They made it seem like in key drives, he outplayed him. And
I don't know. I can't say.
The one thing I don't do.
Neither of them scored a touchdown, so I guess like they were even. Like
the one thing I don't do, to be honest with you, dog, is like in like football is not that sport for me to sit there and say I can have an intellectual, like educated response to how you would grade him outplaying Aaron Rodgers. Yeah. But if you look at the eye test and some of the drives, I was like, okay, I would say Jimmy G had some better drives. They still didn't get a touchdown.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't know what you would look at. If it's simply the eye test, then I guess so. But I don't get it. I'll say one thing though.
I don't know. I look at all of them different. Like Jimmy G's a passing quarterback. To me, Justin is a quarterback. That's why I said like the comparison with you is more Justin. Because trying to fit Justin into that system was more of a problem because your offensive line couldn't run the system. You're running a system that your players couldn't run. That's where Matt Nagy's biggest problem comes in. Matt Nagy was right about at least one thing with Mitch. He said, you're not going to play long in this league if you can't stand in the pocket and deliver the ball. That's a fact. It's a fact. As much as we talk about Josh Allen on the move, Josh Allen can absolutely stand in the pocket and throw dots.
That's not good coaching, though. That's not the way that he went about. For one, he may have a point in the sense of you need to be able to deliver passes in the pocket. But I don't expect Mitch to be a run first QB like Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is a true run first QB. That's his superpower.
But Mitch probably needs to be too.
Mitch is more of a I need to scramble outside the pocket, but I don't see him as I'm gonna run first and get this down the field. I've never seen him as that.
But
But
that's
regardless of
what
this,
I'm
I gotta
saying
give you
is,
this alley-oop because I gotta exit.
yeah.
Can we finally just admit, and we've seen it in multiple, or both of our teams here, Bulls and the Bears, that coaching matters.
No,
Zach
coaching
Levine
matters.
just did win against the odds, but I mean, I'm pretty sure that we could have won more games with better coaching. I'm pretty sure we could have got more out of that team with better coaching.
With this team?
With the Bulls team when we had Buddy there. You know who I'm talking about.
Oh, you talking about Boylan? Hey, he
Yeah.
really is dumb, bro. He really is dumb. If you ever get the opportunity, just take a second. If y'all ever get the opportunity, don't take too much. You end up throwing up. Take a second. Listen to him on NBA TV. It's so stupid. It's funny to me. I'm like, he really coached 20 years in the league. That is a brotherhood, dog. Like that man said, look at this play right here. You see, LaMelo gets the ball, and he's guarded here by a forward, and the forward plays up, and LaMelo spins, and a good layup. I was like, you didn't break down nothing on that play. You didn't see no scheme. You didn't see no defensive tendencies. Nothing from that play.
Hey, Breeze family, I'm gonna take my leave. Your boy has to head to the gig. But on that note, P, I was about to call you P Kid. Anyway, Pat the designer. Hold it down, baby. It's all love, man. I'll see you later, all right?
See you on the next one, my boy. Appreciate you for pulling up as always, man. We got about 10 minutes here left, man. I look at the coaching situation, and of course, coaching matters, right? But talent matters more than the coaching. Talent matters more than the coaching. The Bulls were devoid of talent. Was there possibly a development issue in that situation? Yeah. Was there possibly a where you could have gotten more out of Wendell, you could have gotten more out of Lowry, you couldn't gotten more? And I think more of the position that you put them in makes the bigger difference. But if you have Kevin Durant on your team, he's going to be Kevin Durant. If you have LeBron James on your team, he's going to be LeBron James. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's going to be ups and downs with player development and talent and coaching and stuff like that. But the star players are going to be that. The Bulls didn't have enough of those star players. The Bulls drafted role players. You drafted 3 role players at 7. Name me which of the 3 is not a role player. Kobe, Lowry, Wendell. Who's not a role player? Kobe White's not a star. Oh, he could become one, maybe. He's a star. He's a role player. He's a player off the bench that if he gives us anything productivity-wise, if he gives us 15 points, we say that's a good job. We drafted him 7. That's a talent issue. With the Bears, I think in football and basketball, coaching is different. Right? Magic like Wendell a lot. He's still 15 points a game. He's just 23 versus us. With the NFL, I think coaching is different. I think it comes down to different things. I think you have to look at if how much goes into a play for that play to work. Right? How much is going to go into that play for that play to work? How much has to happen on this play? How many people have to do their job for this play to work? If one person don't do their job on a basketball court, it don't matter. LeBron's still gonna get to the bucket. May not win an NBA championship, but LeBron is still gonna score. So how much of the coaching matters is also based on the sport. It matters a ton in the NFL. It matters a ton in the NFL. Because everybody doing their job and being developed in the right way and moving in the right direction and having that opportunity to make a play and he's got a chip here and he's got to do a block here, and if you're going to do a simple hitch route here, you've got like I would love to get Tom Waddle on the show and just ask him to break down again. He's broken it down on Waddle and Sylvie multiple times, to break down what goes into making a simple hitch route work. It's legitimately like 30 things to gain 5 yards. That's the crazy part. That's why coaching matters in that aspect of it. Because of how much has to go into it just for you to be successful. You know what I'm saying? So like that to me, that's a different topic in itself. I think Matt Nagy hurt the development of Mr. Trubisky? Yeah, I do. Do I think it's all on Matt? No, I don't. There's some accountability that's on the players on the field as well. There's some accountability that's on the players on the field as well. You didn't have good enough offensive linemen in front of your number 2 overall pick. That's on your front office. But at the same time, the offensive linemen I put in there aren't developing. That's on your coaching staff. And at the same time, even when everything was perfect, Mitch overthrew guys. All these things can be true. All these things can be true. And so, yeah, coaching does play a part in it, but it's not, at the same time, you still got to have talent on the field. You've still got to have that talent on the field. And that's what it comes down to. As we closing this thing out, man, got about 6 minutes left in the show. Appreciate you guys for tuning in and rocking with us. Some upcoming stuff we got going. Be on the lookout for possible video drop today, depending on if any NBA news breaks. Just could be my plan is to just drop a video as well. Also going to drop the post-game show pretty much right after this. So we'll have that on the way as well. If you guys missed the post-game show last night, I'll be dropping that on here this morning. What else we got coming? If you haven't done so, man, copy some of that Dope Breeze merch. We got on twcbreeze.com. We got the Breeze merch up there, man. Got the Bulls merch, got the Bears merch. Then, of course, got the like nice looking hoodies that you can wear to a nice party. I'm saying nice little embroidered polo. I rock with it, man. We got all that coming away as well. And who else we got? What else we got coming? We got a lot of stuff coming y'all way, man. A lot of content coming y'all way. Appreciate everybody who's shown so much support. We're just trying to build this thing out bigger and better every day. The morning show's one aspect to do that. I feel like it's been going in the right direction. We're getting more and more people in here in these mornings. So I appreciate y'all for pulling up on that. Shout out to everybody on the Contender side of things, man. Like I said, download the Contender app in your app store or your Google Play store, whatever it is for your app. I think that we've got a good product here, and we're trying to expand it as much as possible. We're trying to grow it to the next level. Shout out to Torian. Said, great show and great content as always. Keep up the grind. That's what it is, man. Some days it's a grind. Some days you got to try and figure it out. And we're making it happen, man. We're growing this thing out. We're working on getting the gaming channel up and going. We're working on getting the new studio up and going. Working on getting more sponsorship in here. By the way, for everybody that's in here, how many people in here? 51 people still in here? What are some things that y'all could use? What are some things that you guys could use? And we'll try to get sponsorship for that. Because it doesn't matter if I bring sponsors here if Muggs ain't going to use them. You know what I'm saying? Pat Nation, stand up. Shout out to you, bro. Shout out to Cornelius. Like, I want to bring sponsors here. I want to get sponsors on the show that you guys are interested in having be a part of this show because it's something that can benefit you. Like the sponsorship, yeah, it's good to have sponsorship for me to put some money in my pocket. But for you guys, it's a, you know, I'm trying to bring products to you that you guys like. Steve-O said beard products and hats. Corey Polk, new to the show. I love it, bro. Very knowledgeable and funny. Appreciate you, Corey. We gonna keep this thing growing, man. I'm glad you pulled up and stuck around, my guy. You've been there for a minute too. But you know what I'm saying? Like that's what if y'all got me on Twitter, man, follow me on Twitter at Pat the Designer. Also follow the rest of the squad. Tweet me some sponsorships that you guys are interested in having in the building. You know what I'm saying? Tweet me some sponsorships that you guys are interested in having in the room. Because that's what it comes down. Like, if I'm bringing this stuff to you, I want y'all to have stuff you can use. Shout out to y'all, man. Check out the new music out on Spotify, out on iTunes. No, it's not. What are you talking about, Pat? I do got music on Spotify and iTunes as well. But check out the music over on SoundCloud. That's what it is. Link is in the community tab. Check out the new single. Got that rocking and rolling. Got a couple new singles. Dropped a couple back-to-back weeks. Got new music on the way, as always, man. Yeah, that's the first love for me. Music is my first love. So, y'all really going hard with the beard products. Okay, we're going to have to find some beard products then. A lot of beard games out there. A lot of beard games. We're going to have to get some beard products in the building. Let's work on that. Maybe sporting apparel stores. Yeah, okay. Some ideas, y'all know. This is the thing, right? It's really a I want to build this out. And y'all know it's family. Listen, we know Rage and I know Cornelius. You know what I'm saying? Steve-O's in the building. Corey's new to the channel. Welcome to the family, my guy. I appreciate Chicago Garza in the building. Liz, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's really a back and forth where, yes, this is it's my show. It's me and Kid and Ringo and AD and Do-Rags is great. We should get them in here. Just rock Do-Rags on the show. Scare off everybody else. It's me, Ringo, AD, all of that. You know what I'm saying? But it's really a family. It's a back and forth with all of y'all. Man. So appreciate y'all for pulling up and rocking with us as always, man, for another morning. Appreciate P Kid for pulling through. As always, it's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again to continue watching our content. Make sure you subscribe to the page. Keep up with what we got going on, man. Y'all stay safe out there. Peace.